Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and welcome back to the Rethink Tank Live, the show where we question the narrative, challenge the consensus, and pull apart the headlines everyone else just scrolls past. Tonight, we're asking three very different questions, but they all point to the same underlying theme: power. First, is Thomas Massie the most principled member of Congress? In a political era built on party loyalty and performative outrage, what does it actually mean to stand on principle and not on party lines? And is anyone else really doing it? Then, LaMelo Ball and the modern American dream. Does his rise represent hard work paying off, or does it reveal what privilege looks like in 2026? And more importantly, how do we define privilege when fame, talent, and money collide? And finally, Q.ai, the advancement of silent speech and the facial micro movement technology. We're talking about AI that can potentially interpret thought patterns and subtle expressions before words are even spoken. Is this innovation, or are we walking into a future where privacy doesn't even include your own face? Principle, privilege, and predictive. Let's rethink it. Now, let's kick off the Rethink Tank Live. That have joined us before, you know that we like to kind of kick off these episodes with a little bit of a update, if we have them, on any of our past topics. One thing that I finally was able to locate in a clean audio fashion that this is not for really anybody, but for me to sleep at night and just know, because I really do think it ruined the tone of the Epstein Files episode. I have my Epstein Files, series, but we did one live show where we just went all out. And I think setting the tone with a 6-minute video that of Paul Stamets that really just got us to the point I wanted us to display, then realized we didn't even get the clip I wanted. This is it in short form, quick and brief. This is the moment we're living in right now.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. And at that point, novelty theory can come out of the woods, because...
So I wasted everybody's time learning about novelty theory, where really we just needed to get to here.
Really, you just needed a guy to say, it's weird.
It's weird, and you won't be able to hide from it.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on? It's just too nuts. It's not enough to say it's nuts. You have to explain why it's so nuts. So between now and 2012, the next 14 years, I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation, because the systems which are in place to keep the world sane are utterly inadequate to the forces that have been unleashed. The collapse of the socialist world, the rise of the internet, these are changes so immense, nobody could imagine them ever happening. And now that they have happened, nobody even bothers to mention what a big deal it is.
Oh, we'll mention it.
It's super funny because at some point I'm like, he's just throwing words out there now. He's just throwing every word he can think of at it now.
But boy, did he predict every moment. It's coming at us at every angle, literally.
It's funny he mentioned 14 years, so you got to think this is probably, what, 98?
Yeah.
He said 2012, so now it's 14 years since 2012. And every word he said...
nailed it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he was just off 14 years, I guess.
Yeah, just double it and give it to the next guy.
He wasn't wrong 14 years ago either.
Perfectly said.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, numbers.
So I just needed to add that cherry on top for the peace of mind, knowing that we finally delivered on the right clip. This is why we're doing what we're doing. It's not easy to navigate the algorithms when you call a spade a spade. But here we are. Sky is blue. The grass is green. Elephants. But I got one last update for us. And this one's more for me and Doug. It really has nothing to do with the show. It isn't an update on any past topic. But what I can tell you for sure is it is an update for Doug and I. Sorry, Siri's talking back. Siri, back down. All right, thank you. Easy. Hey.
Easy, girls.
Now this Siri's attacking. Whoa there.
That one answer was like, what you want?
All right, last update. Doug, Miami
about the important thing. How would you
cannot stop kicking ass. This is the most fun Miami sports has ever been. And
we never went to any basketball games when we were there.
I went to one.
I went to
and
one.
Guess what?
Yep.
That stadium was empty.
Speaking of Miami, Ohio, I saw a cool stat. They have the home run leader in NCAA baseball at this point in the season. It's still really early, but at 5 already. It's pretty
That's
good.
love and honor, baby.
It's pretty good. I'm sure your hockey team's still
Love and
kicking
honor
it.
to
You know what, too?
You know what? The hockey players, that's a very hockey school. So the hockey players rule
Because you used to be a
Miami.
really good team.
Yes, but now the basketball team is taking the show. Here's a really fun moment that I just want to highlight because the Miami train is rolling. I'm excited. I got a game coming up that I'm going to go to.
I got a game tonight as well.
So it's the train keeps rolling. Love and honor. Here is a fun clip between the head coach and, they've got a huge following. The whole school's behind them. But beyond anyone, the swim team is taking the face of like the fandom for the boys basketball team.
let's talk about the important thing. How would you assess the impact that the swim team has had on your club and the crowd? Showing it that would appear to be distracting to me. I don't know if that's motivation or distraction. How do you
love
feel
that.
about this?
Well, the first time it happened, I was absolutely shocked. And I told them after the game, we obviously really appreciated them doing what they were doing. I told them we would return the favor and show up to one of their meets, but we weren't going to wear the Speedos, though.
Wait, if you finish the season undefeated, win the MAC championship, will you commit right now to, in the celebration, in the watch party, donning the Speedo, being hoisted up and showing off your best front strokes? Would you do it, Travis? Would you commit to that right now?
Done. It's done.
Done.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Hell yeah, that's a great
play
story.
ball.
This has been a fun story.
It is. And, now I think it's written in stone. We're going to see this man in a Speedo. He's going to be swimming.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's an awesome story. I mean, when was the last time an NCAA team went undefeated in the regular season?
Remember the
Seriously.
Seriously.
What's that?
Remember the Browns did the opposite when we had that defeated
geez.
season. Hugh Jackson jumped in the lake because he told them if we went winless,
Yeah, they should have went out there
this
and
is better.
drowned him in the lake.
Winning.
Yeah, they should have put some men's shoes on them too.
Swim with the fishies.
So let's get to the first topic of the day. This one I'm really excited to get to. The Rethink Tank went to Kentucky. I had an opportunity to meet Thomas Massie. We got to see him speak. I have some clips to play for us here because I want to have an opportunity to display some of the message that he brought. It was really great. But before we get to this weekend and our campaign, the kickoff in Kentucky, ironically today, Congressman Massie was called on to speak. And he
Spoke, he did.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Massie.
What a
for 5
gentleman.
minutes.
From Kentucky.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Congress created the Department of Justice. Congress funds the Department of Justice. And Congress is responsible for the oversight of the Department of Justice. When will we see justice? I'll tell you what I've not seen. I've not seen any arrests from the revelations in the Epstein files. Over 3 million documents describing horrible things, describing unspeakable things. So much of it redacted. Over 24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide. But I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royalty, his royal titles, due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested.
Former prince.
Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party, and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged. But we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works. And yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions to see that this man needs to.
It's like we're staying spot on. Everybody else in there is just like, you son of a, this
We
guy,
need to take
this
him.
gentleman.
This who's calling him a gentleman? Not me. Not me.
But
Whoever's getting in the way of me and my 13-year-old lover, not me. Ain't a gentleman in my world.
bunch of guys in the studio. Spot on, Mr. Massie. Continue.
Continue.
Be investigated. Jess Staley, accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner, why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking.
Say it.
Which allowed him to go back and recommit these terrible crimes, create hundreds of more victims, and ensnare so many other people in his conspiracy. Where are those documents that describe those decisions? We need justice. We want the Department of Justice to get to work, and that's what they need to do now.
I actually have one piece of advice, and this is what he should do every time now. So he started off with hundreds, and you and I both looked at each other. It's definitely more than hundreds. But every time he should pull the Bernie Sanders, where he just goes up to like
Now the thousands, tens of thousands,
yes,
hundreds of thousands,
just make,
millions,
just make it continuously
tens of millions.
as high as the
Infinite
as high as the
babies.
national debt. That's what he should do. He should take it down.
There were 38,400.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I
38
mean. Like,
trillion.
you should just take it to that extreme.
I agree.
Keep the same. Everything else, speech is great.
Yeah.
Speech is great.
Well, and again, this is why we asked the question, is Thomas Massie the only one with integrity left? I do not want to take away from the fact that, and Thomas Massie says it himself in his speech that we were able to see in Kentucky. One of the things that he emphasizes is this wasn't a lone project. It was a bipartisan project. So representatives like Ro Khanna should be also praised. It's one of those, at this point, I'd vote Democrat. I'd vote for that guy.
Yes.
Anybody that's looking this in the face, this machine that is laughing at us. Here's what I want you to know. Every time, is it Larry Fink? That's the name I want to say. It's the guy that's always standing next to Trump with the bald head.
Think. No.
I don't
the
think
commerce guy.
Yeah.
And no, that's not his name.
No, dang
it's
it.
not
This
him.
is the BlackRock guy.
I know.
Dang it.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I cannot think of his name. He was on the island where he said he didn't know him.
Yeah.
And they went for snorkeling or whatever. Like he did the "It's Always Sunny" bit.
Yes. Oh my God.
Just look up the Secretary of Commerce.
Is that what he is? Secretary?
I'm pretty
of
sure he's the
Commerce?
Secretary of Commerce.
They bring up Always Sunny. Sorry, gang. I need to get his name right. Lutnick. Yeah, Howard
I'm
Lutnick.
like, he's the current Secretary of Commerce.
Okay. Every time you see Howard Lutnick laughing at very serious shit next to Trump, be clear, he's laughing at you. He is cackling over the fact that he got another one over your face in broad daylight. It like broadcasted to your living room. That's his MO. So at this point, yeah, party lines gone, eradicated. Any person that's looking that machine in the face and willing to take up the challenge, that's my guy or gal. I don't discriminate. Guy or gal. And we'll get to it on the next one. Any level of melanin you want or don't want, I'll vote for you as long as you join the true crusade.
They got to give it a name. They got to give it, call it like the coalition or something.
The people. It's us against the machine. So let's get to it.
Wait. Call it the coalition of people, the cops. It came to me just then. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Bad boys, bad
oh my
boys.
God, that'd be great.
What you gonna do?
Oh my God, that'd be great.
You're selling me on it. You're selling me on it.
The coalition of people led by Thomas Massie and Rokana.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask him, but at the same time, it's developing networks, laying the groundwork. You don't want to burn a bridge right at the beginning. So, like I said to my friend that was with me, I said to Jake, I go, Jake, what I would have asked him, if I could have a question for the show, the thing I wanted to ask him was like, man, you still really give props to Marjorie Taylor Greene. You clearly don't feel abandoned. I do. I feel like she held the line up until she now, like Jake and I also acknowledged, clearly he's willing to give her a pass because he knows why, the secret reason why she had to step down.
The ominous
Yeah. And so it's one of those, like, Jake and I, we agree. If she got a video of her kid in a van duct taped, like, no more. Nothing else said, retire.
No one would blame her.
Thomas Massie. So clearly Thomas Massie doesn't blame her. No. So one of the questions I want to ask her is, ask him is, you can't tell us what it is, but can you instill some sense of confidence that she didn't abandon us? Because you clearly don't feel it. And as an outsider that has no idea why, and everything else leaves you to assume it's, James O'Keefe, his podcast is The Price Is My Life. Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed that was her MO and then abandoned the post. So clearly it isn't. Or something else is so right. So it's like, why do you still have that confidence? That would have been the question I really wanted to ask.
I like that question. That'd have been a good
question. But after hearing him speak, one of the questions that I have queued up that'll be a lot less politically inflammatory and a good softball for him has to do with meat, which is, it's interesting. He's done this bill with the Epstein files, the act, but he has a bill for meat initiatives that also are super exciting. So I'm going to put a pin in that and save it for when we get to it. But if you want to talk about an American guy, like just pure, this was the most Americana experience you could have. Doug, you'll appreciate the fact that when we went, so we're driving past what turned out to be the venue. And my buddy Jake, because we were going to get lunch beforehand. And he goes, what are the odds that's it? And you can see like Thomas Massie signs. And it's like, it probably is. The fact that this thing shared a parking lot with a Skyline Chili. So
you probably loved it, Alex.
Oh my gosh.
Happy, I bet.
How about this? It was catered with Coney dogs.
Oh,
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Oh.
So tell me it isn't the American way when the man is hosting his campaign rally in a Skyline Chili parking lot.
Imagine if you're doing it like down the road and next to a Swenson's or something and not have them cater.
Oh, it'd be,
like,
you're right. Great
business.
Point.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's great business for them.
It is.
It's just money.
It's so before the speech, the speech is, before he kind of gave his,
how long just before?
It was about like 2 hours maybe altogether.
But
But he maybe spoke for about an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah. It was solid, very solid, got to the point, but also didn't exhaust everybody. But But as you know, he arrives, and just some of the characters you see there, like this guy just straight up pulled rabbits out of his pocket. His wife had one too, and here's like literally there's one on his shoulder if you don't see it, and then he handed Thomas Massie one straight out of his pocket. So before Thomas Massie got there, this is under the tent. I'm looking at him and his wife. He's got this thing on his shoulder, a rabbit on his shoulder, and she's holding a rabbit behind him. Then he goes up to Thomas Massie and he's like, "You like my rabbit on my shoulder?" And then just pulls one out of his pocket. It's like, who wants to be the pocket rabbit? The guy on the shoulders living the high life. Pocket rabbit got to be held by Thomas Massie. Pocket rabbit also was in the pocket the whole time.
He literally got introduced by Elmer Fudd. That's what this man sounds like.
But can we talk about an old white guy in Kentucky with black rabbits on his shoulder with the Jordan dunking on his hat?
It's American. Nothing says American more than that.
So, before the speeches got going, I had an opportunity to speak to the congressman, and it was a great opportunity. We talked about he brought up the only time he was ever in Cleveland was for the RNC.
Which one?
Bro, what's on your jacket, bro?
I'm glad you noticed.
Why you go dirty, bro?
The thing I was going to get to is,
dog, come on now, Alex.
I have this whole time talking with him.
Yeah.
And my buddy leans in, he taps me on the shoulder. And if you see here, I'm going to go back to the beginning. There's this white post behind me. And the whole time I'm just kind of, and there's all these people. Like, I kind of had to weasel my way up there. So, like, I'm getting bumped into it and everything. And as soon as I finished this great experience, he taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Dude, look at this." And he wipes his finger on the pole. He goes, "The pole is so dusty. And just so you know, you're covered in it. You were laying all over that thing. Your jacket's white."
Man.
And I'm like, "No way." And I looked at it, my whole back. Look at my butt. It's all over it.
You out there doing on-field reporting in the field reporting and getting messed up, dirty in front of Thomas Massie and stuff. Come on, Alex.
Hey, well, he couldn't see my backside, so that's all that matters. At least the front side was clean and had my debt badge showing.
You know what? Hey, real quick though, firm handshake.
Always.
Good on you. Firm handshake.
Rip them in like Trump. No, I didn't even think about it. Here's one of the greatest moments. And, our conversation might be something we save for another day. But the coolest thing about this, like why this guy means something, and it's something I haven't really, I'm sure people get like this with any president, whether it's Obama or Trump. Like, it doesn't matter the political divide. This is a affluent figure. But I got to say.
Is that the poll?
That was bring that back. That was the bloody pole. Look at that.
That was the bloody pole.
The bloody pole. So the other thing was that it was just beautiful. A beautiful thing to take away from that. And again, it's a bias because those are the people that sought out a Thomas Massie event.
Right.
Every person they got, and he was there all night to speak and shake hands with everybody. But every person was just pouring their heart out to this man. Like I just had a great conversation with him, asked him a question, was able to have a great opportunity. Dude, people were coming up and bringing up legislation I never even really knew about, how it impacted their farms. Just watching every person change. Like the second it was their turn, the gratitude and it comes from somebody that's bound by their integrity. In a world where we don't see that at all.
When was the last time you got excited about one of our congressmen?
Bingo. Yeah. No, and that's why I wanted to go out of my way to emphasize the Thomas Massie. I drove from Cleveland. And the thing that we talked about predominantly the whole time there was how much of a shame it is that we're the swing state that's supposed to represent everybody. And I can tell you, I don't feel there is a single person in Ohio that represents me. DeWine is a Benedict Arnold. And that is putting it, boy, you're lucky you got me live, because that's the nicest way I'll ever talk about our governor. That man sold us up a river in COVID. And then I dare anybody, Google House Bill 188, your stomach will turn. Like we're being just packaged and delivered and sold every which way we can. And that starts at the top. That's our governor. Then you look at any of our congresspersons, senators, and House of Representatives. Doug, I know your teacher was one of them now. They all suck.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Paid person, though, you know, he's not even Congress yet.
Yeah, what a lame-o. But you look at this and you go, I had to travel to another state to thank another guy for representing those people, because at least somebody's getting represented.
Enough that it was just over the border too. It's not like
That was the fantastic part.
Down to the bottom part of Kentucky, which is not like a long state, but it's not like going from Cleveland down there is what, 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah, 4.5
You know,
hours.
I'm sure to go through all of Kentucky probably takes about 2-3 hours at most, but still, it's not like you had to add that.
Now
on
you're
top
doing
of it.
8.
Right. So no, really.
So
cool.
it was a great moment. But now let's kind of get to, I have some of the speeches that he, or, you know, I have series of clips from his speeches because I do think a lot of his positions were noteworthy.
Real quick, looks like the same size as you. Honestly,
Hey.
you know, well, it's funny.
Oh, he's not a huge guy.
But whenever you see them on the floor, it's kind of hard to tell exactly.
Can I also, you know, I don't want to Dave Portnoy the whole situation. Everybody take note. I'm standing on a little bit of a curb.
Oh, are you? Okay. I
So-
couldn't tell. I was going to say, I was like, yeah, I mean,
I'm not Dave Portnoy. I don't need to be a midget that thinks they're big. I know who I am. I'm this tall.
I mean, I am.
But you don't think you're big. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
but that's the thing.
I'm not someone that thinks they're big. I know what I am.
But it's always one of those things when you see them
So
like,
just think, like, you know, the extra landing strip of forehead that I have over his head is really just the curb.
you know, but that's the thing. It's like you always see.
Look at that forehead. Damn.
You always see the videos of them like on the floor talking, and you can't really get a gauge on how tall some of these guys actually are, unless you look at them and you're like, that dude's just tall.
Right.
Like, unless you get up a check and be like, that guy looks at least 6'5". So, you know, it's kind of interesting.
But it was just awesome. He's such a great guy. And let's get to some of the positions he presented, because I think they only even get any better. Oh,
He looks like a dude from Southern
that's
Ohio.
the bunny. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he looks like one of us.
Yeah,
just
like
a
he
guy.
just
You know
looks
what's
just a
cool
dude.
is a guy like this can here we'll just do it one last time. But the fact that a guy like this can come from stripping his field. Like, yeah, I was just prepping my tractors
He
and
looks like he was
stripping my
working the
field.
farm this morning, and then in the afternoon had to put the suit and tie on.
Dude, they got a Lincoln.
Yeah.
Guy hopped in, showed up to this, was like, hey, let's talk. Do you know how little you have to prepare? How much like memorization and hard work it takes when you're just being yourself?
Do you know how funny it would have been though, is if your whole world got turned upside down and he shows up on some like military helicopter and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting.
Is he a psyop too?
It would have been so funny if you came back and been like, dude, there was like 3 helicopters and he was in one of them. Like, it was really weird. This dude was from Kentucky. I was like, where are you landing? In Culver's? What's going on here?
Culver's. Yeah. Well, you know, I came from Culver's. Got to make it to Skyline Chili. All right. So let's get to some of his speeches. First, this is him getting brought up right off the bat. Funnies and ha-has.
Number one thing that we need in this nation to keep our eye on is what he wears over his heart right here, which is
Skibbity toilet.
And if you want a strong military, if you want a strong economy, if you want a strong future, you're going to need a man focused on that. Congressman Thomas Massie, I'm proud to call him my friend.
You know, it actually all worked out for the better, Ricky. As he says that, he goes, did you wear your debt badge? And it dawned on me. Still in the back of my car, I got to pull it out. I brought a suit jacket and a tie. And oh, cool. Another thing I want to get to. So, So I wanted to wear a suit jacket, tie, so I could wear my debt badge. And I pull it out. My buddy Jake goes, you're not about to wear that, are you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, they're going to think you're a staffer. Like, and I'm like, even better. And he's like, whatever you want to do. And I go, well, I have to wear my debt badge. So I have to. And as I'm talking to him, I'm wearing a Callaway quarter zip, literally pretty much what I wore to work, but the gray version with a polo underneath. And he just like puts his fingers in the breast pocket. He goes, this one has one. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll wear this. So I guess it's a good thing my black pea coat took the hit and not my suit jacket, because that would have been an even bigger bummer. But speaking of which, I wore golf polo, pullover.
Yeah, look good.
Everybody else, all Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy Jake is in cowboy boots. And I looked at him as we were waiting. You know, we got like a half hour before the thing starts. We're under the tent. And I just look and I'm like, dude, every single one of these people also have cowboy boots. He's like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
I would have
like,
fit in, bro.
It's Kentucky.
So
I would have fit right in.
you would.
Oh my God, Ricky, you show up in the hat.
He would have
too.
sought you out. You would have been like one of three.
You're wearing the hat too. Oh my God, that'd have been amazing.
So we're getting ready for this thing. And my buddy Jake, which is totally on brand, like, of course, he had his concealed carry.
Why not?
Why wouldn't he?
It's Kentucky.
Always. So I want to acknowledge he's going to get to it. So I'm going to save all the punchlines. But I want you to know what's going through my head. I got this really tall guy next to me who's got a piece. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, we need this guy to live forever, if not at least another decade. Like, it's the only chance we have. If we lose him, I don't know who else we got. And that's been on my mind for quite a while, because I just feel like they've taken out the most significant figures of our history. How hard would it be to take this guy out and then it's like if I could go back in time and take out baby Hitler, Bibi Netanyahu's like, if I could go over there and take out Thomas Massie, it would just all go away.
Where is he? Next to Skyline?
Oh, and again, dude rolls up in nothing but a Lincoln, and there's one cop car there, pretty much. So the whole time I'm just like, man, severe lack of security. I am shocked. Like, hey, Doug, do you know any of the names of like the people that just like lunged out at Reagan, or like, it's not Lee Harvey Oswald, but the guy that got Lee Harvey.
Jack Ruby?
Yeah. I'm standing there thinking like this
Ruby
camp.
was the guy who
Ruby
stopped
was
him.
the person who got shot, part of Reagan's staff, and that's why we have the Ruby law.
Regardless, you're just thinking like, man, there's a lot of faith in this crowd, like that nobody's going to do anything crazy, because there's nothing. We're all just standing under a tent, and the guy's it was like 19 or 1820, like, the government, baby, the Constitution.
Did you like start running the numbers through your head of who else has a piece
so
here?
I don't want to spoil anything. Let's bring Thomas Massie onto the stage. The way he acknowledges this, so just know that's in the back of my head. It's good.
I like how
I'm looking forward
in your
to him
head going into it, and now you're standing in front of him going, "This is."
Wait. I've been thinking about the fact that there's a lot of interest in taking him out, and then my buddy's just got one, and then I'm just standing under a tent, and we're all just hanging out. Like, I could touch the guy, I could touch the guy with the thing.
I could pet him,
and I could pet the thing on his hip. All right.
Getting up there and telling us, come on up, Thomas. Steal your mind. Yeah.
See if you can hear my laugh throughout any of it.
Well, you got that mic as long as you want. They'll all be here. That's a reference to Snatchgate, when they snatched my mic away. Maybe we should come up with a different name for that. I want to. I will leave that alone. So, like 30 minutes before this started, there were like 30 of you here, and I was worried that nobody would show up. And I'm just blown away. Like, it's a good thing it's not raining. You don't all fit under the tent. But we're making it a big tent. We really are. It's a big tent. I try to...
You know, sometimes they get mad at me in DC for how I vote. And I point out to them, I'm like, look, 219 of you voted a certain way, and you represent half the party, and I'm the only one today representing the other half of the party. I don't want to get into my speech yet until I thank these liberty warriors in the state.
So then he goes on to all the local reps and
Which is good.
Yeah, of
That's
course,
what you
of
gotta
course.
do.
I mean, they
That's part of the
helped get
job.
him there. Of
Part
course.
of the job.
And but I also, before I get rolling too fast here, I want to thank my wife. She's taken some heat from
the president, and then he goes on like, I didn't know how long this was going to go. So then he starts going into all of the derogative things that Trump is saying about her, and that, well, here. Then he brings her on, and let's be very clear. Trump should throw all the stones he's got, because Melania never was and never will be this naturally beautiful. Trump, as a guy that is hyper obsessed with these types of considerations and measuring in these ways, just know you'll forever be in Massie's shadow. This woman is the most beautiful. And the videos just don't do it any justice, but also be clear. And that was the thing when we were talking earlier that I forgot to emphasize. There isn't a scalpel that has touched this woman. And I think that's what further enhances it, is we don't have this anymore. Just Americana beauty.
This is my secret weapon. She is the one, when I said I'm having dinner with Pam Bondi, she said, ask her about the Epstein files. And I asked her about the Epstein files, and I could tell she was covering something up. And the rest, as they say, is history. The president said that she's a flame-throwing liberal. So she's sending me flame emojis all the time. But it's the flame of liberty. She volunteered for Ron Paul's campaign in 2008.
Oh, really? I know. Well, she's been involved.
I got a $3,500 donation from Pennsylvania, near where she lived, and I showed it to her, and she said, "Oh yeah, he was in the Ron Paul meetup group in 2007." Wow. So, but then after that, she worked for Campaign for Liberty. She worked for National Right to Work. She got our Senator Rand Paul elected here in Kentucky.
And that is one of the cooler parts of this, is he really is taking the torch. Yes. Ron and Rand,
they're getting old.
They're getting old. And this is kind of the new guard that I think has just a little bit more of that spunk. This is where it gets good. We get in the speech. It's very hearty, and I got some moments, clips that I can bring in too to further enhance his points. It's good. Good stuff.
My secret weapon. I really don't think I would have got the Epstein files done without her. The day we moved, thank you. When she met me, I was living in a truck camper in Lot 7 in Washington, D.C. Now we have a very small apartment in D.C. And I scheduled on moving day to move everything into the apartment. I scheduled our Epstein press conference, so I couldn't be there.
Perfect timing.
I got something really important. You hire those strong men that move cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
But anyways, it is so encouraging to be here. This reminds me of the energy we had in 2012. And my campaign office was also in Florence, in a different location. And I recognize some people who were there and made thousands of phone calls. And that's why we have this office here. It's so we can amplify what we have that the opponent does not have, which is grassroots support. People who will work. You are the secret weapon. But it reminds me of that 2012 campaign. But when we had that kind of energy, that energy is back. It's great to have it. I want to talk about, what I stood for then, because it's the same thing I stand for now. I just found out before I stepped up here, I got endorsed this morning by the Northern Kentucky Right to Life. Thank you very much. Got a 100% voting record on that. Also, we just came from a gun store. Yeah. I hope you're all packing. Like, this would be the worst place somebody would try to do something. They're not going to make it across the street.
I was going to say, I wish when he said that, everyone was just like, woo! Put him away.
Well, the funniest thing is, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, we're the security.
Yes.
The whole time, I totally forgot. Like,
yes. At that point,
try it.
At that point, it's strength in numbers.
As exactly like he said, you're not making it across the street. Like,
no, might have got me, but we got you. We got you too.
So, Thomas Massie is a Democrat that's running for re-election in Kentucky.
You know what? We're going to put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Can I answer that here shortly?
Because got you.
Literally gets to it here in like a minute at the most, where he acknowledges a viral clip that kind of presses that consideration.
And so, I'm chair of the Second Amendment Caucus in Congress. That's a very important issue to me, just to talk about a few of the bills. Actually, I don't have time to talk about all the pro-Second Amendment legislation I've done, but the one that I think is most important is national constitutional carry.
Hey, Alex, you see that you're not the only one from Ohio, right? Because this lady back there in the red got an Ohio sweater on.
I noticed that. Well, I'll be honest with you. She stood out for another reason. I was like, of course,
chill out. Chill out.
Well,
it's just
the reason I said that is because I was like, and for the longest, I was like, it's all white people. It's like a rally. And then I was like, of course, they threw her right behind the stage.
Hey,
for
the people.
Strength in
for the people.
Strength in numbers.
Well, you gotta show it's not just all glowing.
It's optics.
We've got diversity. Not as much diversity as I think we would have hoped, but it's also Northern Kentucky.
I was like, it is Kentucky. It's like you said, everyone's in cowboy boots. Everyone has a farm here. Skyline is a night out.
It is. Well, I got to tell you, you could go like 20 minutes, but Skyline was just about it in that area.
Let me ask, is there a Dollar General nearby?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's where we get the groceries.
Those are true salt of the earth people there.
We have a Dollar General right down the street.
That's what I mean. Salt of the
and
earth
guess
people.
what? You're also salty, Doug. You are it.
Not as salty as the people that don't want sheets.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Intended for you to have to ask, Mother, may I, pretty please, may I exercise a constitutional right that is actually a God-given right? So that's that. So those are the two things, in 2012, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-Constitution. Very key. We cannot lose our minds. I mean, populism is good. Sometimes it lines up with the Constitution, but it doesn't always line up with the Constitution. I have 3 tests before I vote for anything.
I was like,
I love this. These are the 3 considerations before he makes his vote.
Number 1, can we afford it?
No.
Most of this stuff we cannot afford. Okay, even if it's a good thing, can we afford it? Number 2, is this a state issue or local issue, or should we really be doing this at the federal government? Because a lot of the founders intended, for instance, things like murder. Murder is not a federal crime. Like, the founders never intended for murder to be a federal crime. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. And then the reporters may come out of here today and say, Congressman Massie's for murder. No, it is regulated at the state level. All the
Who's that laughing?
The crowd found that one funny.
You see a state judge for it. It is a state crime, and that's the way it's meant to be. We're not the solution to every problem in Washington, D.C. I had a reporter send me a
Ricky.
list of 18 bills where I didn't
Oh,
vote
this
with
isn't
the
it.
party.
Yeah, this is it.
Why are you not voting with the Republican Party on these bills? And I looked at him and said, let's see. 9 of them are spending bills. 5 of them violate the 10th Amendment. 2 of them are for another war. And 1 of them is raising taxes. What the hell? Why are these Republican bills to start with?
Bingo. So to kind of answer your question, he's going to hammer it home even further, Ricky. Because Trump calls him a Democrat, far from changes his political party. And, you know, if anything, it enhances his likability across the aisle because he is as close to a moderate conservative as it gets. I think the thing that hangs up a moderate Democrat from considering the other side of the aisle, a moderate conservative, is abortion. Like that's the topic that everything he's saying right now, like he's going to get into meats, like I said, and right now he's going to get into more of like the political bipartisanship. I think everything kind of appeals to the masses on both sides of the aisle. It's that one trigger point. That's what defines him as a Republican. But the saddest part is, like he pointed out, only like 9% of the bills has he not voted Republican. And it's because they don't reflect Republican values.
Right.
So you look at Trump and you go, you hate me because I'm not getting in line like a good Nazi, but also you're not voting or doing anything you ran on. Like, sorry for me holding the principles you sold the public. That's what's making him an enemy is Trump was a Trojan horse, told us what we wanted, did the opposite. Well, Thomas Massie wants to carry out what he told us, and that's what makes him a bad guy, is Trump's trying to go the other direction.
I was going to say, he's pretty moderate.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty moderate.
I mean, literally, the only thing that I think diverts him away from that consideration is the right to life, and I think that needs to be an issue that gets suppressed in people. Are you having a baby right now? If so, then that should be you should vote on that.
And it's
if not, then shut the hell up. They're eating kids and they're making our debt. It's still tolling. Like at a certain point, let's reevaluate our priorities. We can go back to baby killing the next half a decade. But like, let's take a break. You've been slaughtering babies for the last 2-3 decades. Let's put a pin in that. You can still do it. That's the asinine part. You guys are losing your freaking minds. You can still go kill babies. But like, maybe let's take a look at this guy and go, yeah, but everything else is just about as moderate as it gets.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let him go here because Ricky, this point only further answers your question.
I don't know. You saw some video, it kind of went viral. There was some guy in the hallway trying to get a gotcha moment.
Let's take a quick look at that gotcha moment. Ricky, I don't know if you had a chance to see this, but it's pretty great.
Change your party affiliation to Democrat.
I thought you did. I vote with Republicans 91% of the time. And the 9% I don't, they're taking up for pedophiles, starting another war, bankrupting our country.
Dude, tell me that isn't perfect. Yeah. The only 9% I don't is when they're protecting the most evil scum of this earth, exacerbating our debt or harming the society.
Yeah.
Whoops.
How dare you?
91% of the time still votes Republican. So
That's
the problem
still an
is
A.
it's a narrative. What's that?
That's still an A.
That's still an A.
Like technically.
An A+ Republican. A- Republican right there. It's an A- Republican right there.
We went blue ribbon. That's an A-.
Blue ribbon's an A+ for us.
He's hired. Yes, he's hired by Laura Loomer, I presume.
Well, it is true. Actually, it is funny. And the whole crowd, me too, me, boo, I booed loud. Booed, I booed. But coming back to this clip.
Change your party affiliation to Democrat.
Do you want to know how brilliant he is? It really was a staffer paid by Laura Loomer, where it says Thomas Massie for Congress, www.thomasmassie.com. It literally is her watermark of, LauraLoomer.com, whatever.
Oh, I see.
And
what
so,
you mean, yeah.
like, the official clip was posted by Laura Loomer. So it is funny. Like, yeah, that was a paid.
She's an idiot.
Antagonize. Oh my God.
She really is an idiot.
You know what? I'm going to refrain.
No, I mean, I'll say it for you. I'll just say it really quickly. He thinks she's an idiot also.
Yeah. Thanks.
I got you. No, I got you. I
got my back. That's cool.
Back to Thomas.
I can't believe he posted the video.
Because the greatest part is like, dude, you did not hurt him. You know that, right? With this clip, you did not hurt him.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to run away from him. I was in a hurry. I was going to the
Dude, you weren't even walking in a hurry, man.
to try to.
You stopped and was like, PDOs? You made sure your emphasis at the end was, let me be clear, the time they're spending my money, they're eating my kids, and
Stop something bad. Okay? Some other Republican bill.
Proud loved it.
And he said, Congressman Massie, why don't you register as a Democrat? And I said, what are you talking about? I vote with the party 91% of the time. But in the 9% of the time, they're covering up for pedophiles, starting a new war, or bankrupting our country. I am not on the bandwagon.
bang, 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 bang.
Oh my God, I wish they did
There's
that.
just holes in the tent.
Darn tootin'.
I'm sorry.
That would have been amazing. That would have scared the hell out of you. You would have hit the deck. Everyone else in there would have been up, and you would have been,
I'm with the rabbits.
Look, they stick things in these bills. We need one issue, one vote for single bills. People ask me, are we going to vote our way out of this? Can we vote our way out of this? Not if you keep letting them put all the bills in one bill. You ain't voting your way out of that. Even the congressmen can't vote their way out of that. Because if you vote against the omnibus, they say you voted against soldiers' pay. If you vote for the omnibus, then you voted for Planned Parenthood. Like, there is no way out of voting your way out of it until we separate these bills.
So there's a famous clip that went viral of Thomas Massie, kind of acknowledging the thing that I'm really trying not to get cynical about the fact that I don't know if we can vote our way out of this. The greatest answer to that conundrum, can we vote our way out of this, is the only way we can is if we get rid of omnibus bills. It's got to be one issue voting.
oh yeah, just a BS spending
Because
bills
as he
constantly all
said,
over
if
the
you
place.
put 50 things in it and I vote against it, you're going to say, oh, he voted against blind kids. It's like, okay, that's the caveat on the way bottom. If I vote for it, you're like, look at
I like that because I never understood when everybody say a bill just passed and then it's like, oh, but did you read page 348? Like, why is there 348 for one bill? Like,
So
I
they
thought
can
it was
sneak
just
this
one
stuff through.
thing. They only push one agenda and hide everything.
That was a big thing
You
the
guys are
administration ran
right.
on, like saying,
Like
look
that.
at what they've been putting in these bills.
Here's the deal. You've got butts in seats. You got that, right? There's over 500 congresspersons. You've got butts in seats today. Do you know how quick it would be to be like, blind kids, aye. Murder, nay. Just start going through it. Like, what are we paying you for? The thing they always say is, yeah, we got to do these big super bills because we can never all agree on stuff. It's so hard to pass things. We got to do it at 500 policies at once.
No. They're not super bills. They're big, beautiful bills.
Yeah, I forgot. They're not ugly.
Sorry.
And they're not slender. There's some sexy thickies. The big, beautiful bills.
And that's when they do vote. Let me tell you about a time in 2020, March 27th of 2020. That was during the 15 days. Whew, I'm glad that only lasted 15 days. Remember, that's literally the definition of gaslighting. It's only going to be 15 days. That's all we need from you. Turn over all your rights. Quit traveling. Don't go see grandma. It's 15 days, and we'll stop this right in its tracks. I could tell they were full of shit from the first day.
Hold on.
I think it was on the 9th day, I got a call here in Kentucky. They said, stay home, we got it under control. We're gonna spend $2.2 trillion. Nobody has to come to work. We'll do it by UC, unanimous consent. Listen, I've objected to post office namings. You think I'm not
We
going
can
to
stick them,
object to
send them on their
this?
way, right, Doug?
I got in my car and I drove overnight and I got to Washington. This was the CARES Act. And everybody, by the way, it polled at 81% popularity among Republicans. And people thought I was committing, political suicide. I thought I was too. I asked my top 2 staffers, I said, I'm about to get my car and go in my career, and none of you are going to have a job. Are you okay with this? And they said, we don't want to work for you if you don't get in your car and go do that.
Woo! Kentucky's my people.
Party's gonna be like, they're all like, no. So I did it anyway.
Out there on the 9th day of 15 to slow the spread. And I said, I'm going to object here in about 30 minutes if you try to do this. And they didn't want it to fail. So they said, are you serious? So I'm serious as a heart attack. I've been sleeping in my car, eating pretzels and peanut butter for 2 days to pull this off. And so they reassembled Congress. They had planes, the airlines were shut down, everything was shut down. They had to fly like Delta jumbo jets on the route that wasn't even going to take off that day, and they had 2 people in it, Nancy Pelosi and somebody else from San Francisco. But they all got there. They all hated me for breathing air.
They had to do their jobs.
I was so glad when Marjorie Taylor Greene showed up to Congress.
I mean, I had to work during the pandemic. I guess I don't get it.
Nancy doesn't have to work when there isn't a pandemic. It's a hard knocks life, baby.
CNN called me the most hated person in Washington, D.C.
Oh, I forgot.
That's the first time they got the
I
news
wanted to
right.
wear.
But when Marjorie got there, like a year later, I was only the most hated man.
At the event.
But now I'm back to the most hated person because she's gone. At least we shared that. Anyways.
When you bought it, you saw the thing go up.
I'm sitting there. I know some of you have heard this story, but I was sitting on the floor of the House ready to object to the bill. And the president calls me, and I let it go to voicemail. He called me again. I let it go to voicemail. I'm convinced, actually now thinking back on it, I didn't think this way at the time, but I think they were trying to distract me from objecting because it was about to happen, and they knew if they could get me off the floor, they could just rush this bill through. So the president went to voicemail 3 times. I finally caught a break in the action, went out to the lobby, and I called him back, and he said, I'm coming at you like you've never seen. Never in your life before have you seen the way in which I will come. I'm more popular than you in Kentucky, and you know it. I'm backing your primary opponent, and you're gonna lose. Well, I didn't lose.
The whole thing has just been a giant dunk on Trump, which has been kind of the highlight. I'm going to skip the meat legislation. That's going to be the last one. So the third and final topic that he had, that'll be our transition period here, is the Epstein files. So here is Thomas Massie giving a little spiel on the Epstein files.
You've never heard of, called the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Get him.
Lock them up. Yeah, people are being arrested worldwide and resigning worldwide, but not in this country. I thought we were the beacon of transparency and democracy. Why is it in these monarchies, in these socialist countries, they are resigning and stepping down and going to jail? But it's not happening here. It's because there is a corruption happening that is deeper than I even realized.
Phase 2 brought to you by Thomas Massie. Big Bird. BB, not the BB you thought. What? BB, Big Bird.
And, I'm a Christian. I don't wear it on my sleeve because I represent every religion of the 750,000 people here that I represent in Kentucky. But I am a Christian, and this is the first time where I feel like there are demons and spirits at work. You can't keep a secret between 3 people, right? Like if 2 people know a secret, you can probably keep it secret. If there's 3 people that know, you can't forget it. It's going to get out. How did these billionaires and politicians and movie producers, how did they keep something so evil, so secret, using Gmail? Right? How did they keep it that way for 2 decades? How did they all evade any accountability, responsibility, or jail time or investigations? I think it was evil at work. And I do believe there was divine intervention in getting this bill passed. I'm not taking more credit, I'm taking less credit when I say that. I'm just the person that put it in the hopper and laid siege to Washington, D.C. for 5 months. Frankly, it was you all. It was the public pressure that kept building. Nothing good happens in Washington, D.C. unless they feel the pressure. And so it was actually my partner in this, Ro Khanna, who, it was his idea to have a press conference and invite the survivors to Washington, D.C. And just like today, where this crowd, I did not expect to see a crowd this big. We were overwhelmed. There were like 100 TV cameras pointing at us. And that press conference was good for many reasons. Number one, we gave those survivors a platform for credibility. They're standing in front of the Capitol telling their gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching stories that some of them had never told. And I'll be honest, we held the press conference to try to pressure our colleagues. We were already committed to the cause. But what happened to me there that day is I became...
All right, gang, I want you to really appreciate, we're not an official media group. I'm just a guy who's a fan of a guy.
That's what I just told my chat, man. Like, this ain't no CNN or nothing. This man went on the boots on the ground, recorded this like he's a professional.
Well, and do you know how tired my arm was getting? By the time we got to this point, I'm switching hands like, son of a...
Hey, and it's smooth transition because I don't see no shakiness.
Dude, if Jake was a real friend, he would have done it because Giraffe up there would have had a much better view. So,
the whole time Jake was just like, I might need to use this thing. You never know.
Oh, he was ready. Hand on piece.
That's why he went.
Somebody had to be security.
But bro, you gotta get, I just literally telling the chat, like, this ain't no CNN, bro. Like, he ain't got no tripod or nothing. Like,
yeah, and you could tell, but just a bunch of bobbing heads below. We don't get that at CNN.
This is one lone dusty man.
But this is what you feel like you're in the crowd. You know what I mean?
Really,
instead of watching him.
Was that?
Instead of watching him on TV, just because of the heads behind the crowd, you feel like you're in there. You know?
See,
like,
dude, why didn't you wear your glasses, your meta glasses?
Because then I would have really been getting the back of the head. The advantage of throwing it up there. Imagine I'm holding a pair of glasses up in the sky.
Yeah. But Alex, that's when you give the meta glasses to Jake. Then he doesn't have to use his hands at all. He
my
just
God,
had those on.
Then if there was an incident.
Oh, Jake was so comfortable up there. but you know,
Stork.
You guys are calling me Dusty. The funny thing is, I keep looking at like. First off, yeah, I was dusty, literally. But also, do you know how nice it would have been to have a tripod, pad of paper? I would have had a perfect view. My arms would have been down by my side, and I was covered in dust.
Well, the last time there was a tripod, I did an event like this and ended poorly.
Yeah. Well, that happens to all of us.
Doubly committed to the cause.
Hey, knowing that I'm getting shaky, Will's over here like, knowing at this moment that I'm getting shaky, I want you all to just appreciate still pretty steady.
I'm waiting for you to just speed it up, Thomas.
Please get to the good part. This is the good part. Doug, you're missing the good stuff.
And I'm going to try and say this without having tears in my eyes. But I realize there's a special kind of evil that was going on in the Epstein sex trafficking. And it's one thing for somebody in a position of power to take advantage of somebody, to molest them. Maybe there's an age differential. That is bad. That is evil enough. But what he did is he conscripted these girls into doing evil. Right. And I didn't realize that, you say, well, why didn't you come forward? It's because when they come forward, they get blamed for sex trafficking. Because when they were 14, one of these, she's a woman now, but a girl at the time, she said a friend told her for $200, all you got to do is give a massage. And, it's a really nice house.
This is crazy.
This and that and the other thing. And she, her family didn't have a lot. So $200 was a lot of money at the time. And she did it and got caught up in this. Jeffrey Epstein had her cell number. When he called her, she had to show up. But there was one way out. She would go find another girl to take her place. So she went back to her high school and found another 14-year-old and said, all you got to do is give a massage and you can make $200. And she lived with that shame and guilt for so many years. And then that is why they don't come forward and say what actually happened. Because when you find out what actually happened, people blame them for it. And so, anyways, that's when at the press conference, I thought, dang on, we held this press conference to try to convince my colleagues. Now I just got convinced I cannot let up. Not 1 minute can I let up.
So we got one more piece here, but he goes further into the Epstein files. But with all the considerations, I think we've all kind of exhausted the point. If you want to see real journalism, actually digging up the Epstein files, go check out our series here on the Rethink Tank. Each week we've been kind of going through the tips and tricks and things we've been finding on our digs. So that way you don't have to start from scratch and rediscover it. We're the human hive and we're not going to lose. So last topic I have from Thomas Massie is one that I really didn't know about. As somebody that's in these trenches, I'm not foreign to this political consideration, but I didn't know that we were also, while we're going after the PDF files that are taking over the world or have taken over the world, we're actually doing, go check out my commercial during the Super Bowl halftime show we did about freedom dogs. Literally one of the only major punchlines of that thing is that we don't have American meat anymore. Like a freedom hot dog is going to be Argentinian meat because our president committed all of our meat to a foreign country. He brings up some really cool considerations that it's like, man, it is refreshing and exciting to know that actual representation is coming out, not just in this one subject, but, we're maybe things will actually happen in government.
It's a state issue. We do not regulate whether you can have chickens in your backyard or not. Take it up with your city council.
I mean, right now, the city we're in, it's illegal to have chickens.
Okay.
My uncle built the biggest chicken coop here in town. Come get my chicken.
Why is that though?
Because America sucks. Are you just learning?
No, I don't know. There's a rule for everything. I know there's a rule for everything, bro. So I was just like, if you knew the specific reason, like did some chicken get out back in the day or something? They're like, you can't do this.
They don't want independent sustainability. That is the underlying truth. A lot of it will be, well, this is a community that's trying to avoid, whatever BS they come up with. It's gawky or, we're a higher end community, whatever BS they come up with. The truth is they don't want sustainability. A parallel that runs with this, Ricky, did you know every tree that is planted by the government has to be considered a male tree. Therefore, none of the trees have fruits. So the effing trees I'm paying for, heaven forbid it pay me back and fucking feed me.
Yeah.
Like, that's our government. Your government hates you so much that they'll take your money and go out of their way.
Bro, that would never fly in Jamaica, bro.
Trees that don't feed you.
Imagine in Jamaica they're saying don't grow a mango tree or a breadfruit tree or guinea tree near your. Oh man, that would never fly, bro. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and here we let it happen. We let them eat our kids too. It's wild, the shit we let them get.
Is
we
this
keep
like
saying I need a Second
nationwide?
Amendment just so they don't do this shit, and then they do it in our face, and then there's Lutnick.
Is that like nationwide? Because I like
yes,
it's in most, yeah.
It's the federal policy. So where the government plants tree, you might have a local tree initiative that, like, Cleveland Municipal is planting apple trees along whatever. Yes, there are initiatives, but the general policy is that all trees planted by the government have to be male trees, so the constituents don't get free fruits. Yep, wow. Dude, we're sick. We are sick.
Or your state legislator. As some of you know, I have built a chicken coop that moves itself across the grass.
It is awesome.
It runs on supercapacitors. It's called the Klux capacitor.
MIT grad here.
So I'm hopeful that Steve succeeds, and then I can market the Klux capacitor. But I do care about food freedom. And I don't know if you saw yesterday, there was an executive order declaring glyphosate, which is Roundup, to be essential for national defense. And that is so that it can have no liability, that it can't be, if you get harmed by it, you can't sue in court. Judge Brueggemann, is it the 7th Amendment that guarantees a trial for things over $200 or something? Anyways, $20, okay. Been some inflation. They never imagined the Fed would exist, right? They thought $20 in the Constitution would still be $20 today. But they're taking away basically a constitutional right, which is your right to redress in courtroom. That if somebody harms you, that you should be able to take them to court and then have your day in court. Well, they're trying to take that away. By the way, the PrEP Act and the vaccine immunity, which is similar to the PrEP Act, I call it medical malpractice martial law. The federal government has said you cannot sue vaccine manufacturers or even the mask manufacturers, anything like that. That is wrong, but they're trying to do the same thing with glyphosate. And I say give them a straw and let them drink it, right?
So I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on right now, but the president, the one that's looking out for us, of course, is trying to call glyphosate a necessity to national security. Therefore, any side effects or negligent lawsuits that would arise out of this, you have no claim to sue. They have full immunity. So just like the vaccines where you were a hamster experiment for them, and then they removed all liability, the depths of, that's it. So I do want to play one clip that I do have from, you know what? We're just going to share the screen. It's going to be quicker that way. I have a clip from RFK Jr., which at this point, I'm heavily convinced that guy is the face of conflicted people, because that guy is his first wife was best friends with Ghislaine and then wound up unalived. Whoops. Yeah. In a whoops email.
Oh God, he's talking for 2 minutes.
So here's one thing I do want to say. For how much we knock how this guy talks, do you guys recognize, besides Thomas Massie, he's like the only one with good stuff to say?
No, yeah.
Like he's the only one fighting for you and your health. Just saying. So here I'm going, and trust me, it's tough to listen to. I get it, but I want to emphasize I wouldn't be shown if he didn't have something great to say. But sometimes some of the most valuable things come in those packages. So try your best, but it's about the glyphosate. Get Thomas out of here. All right. It's about the glyphosate. Oh, wait, you won't hear, right? I gotta share the tab. That's where I messed it up. Sorry, family. Playing it right here. Let's
Around
start
the
this man
time-
over.
In 2006, they discovered that Roundup was a desiccant. So that, and what that means, if you spray it on a crop, it will actually dry out the crop. And one of the big enemies of the farmer is that if there's rain around the time of harvest, their crops can get wet and then they get moldy and then it ruins the entire silo.
Yeah.
And so what Monsanto did is they began telling farmers, spray this on the crop, on your wheat, right before harvest or at the time of harvest. And it was so popular that about 85% of the Roundup that has been used in history has been used since 2006.
Wow.
And a large part of that is as a desiccant. And what that meant, Mark, is for the first time, they're spraying it on food.
Yeah.
Right at harvest.
Yeah.
And for the first
Not
time,
early in the season when it may have a chance.
And that, he's going to get to it, but this is where the gluten intolerance came from.
To wash off, but actually just before you're going to eat it.
Right. And they're spraying it for the first time on wheat because there was no such thing as Roundup Ready wheat.
Yeah.
They started spraying it on wheat as a desiccant. And so 2006 marks the date when suddenly these gluten allergies began exploding. And the celiac disease and all these kind of
My aunt
wheat
has
problems that we started seeing in this country. If you measure back and say, when did it start? You can look and draw a red line, and it's 2006, and it's the year that they began spraying it on wheat.
Right. So again, what do we get from this? This is why the allergies to gluten skyrocketed in 2006. So with all this going on, here's the Secretary of Health going, yeah, big problem, big problem. And then the big guy, the president of the White House, he goes, but my guys are making big dough off of this, literally and figuratively, poisonous dough, but also cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And we're going to make this an arm of national security. So that way we have no ability to collect on that. Any thoughts? Anybody? Cowboy? Nope.
No, I mean, it speaks for itself.
You would hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening in real time. It's been happening, obviously, for 20 years now. And it's funny when you mentioned Massie being the last line of defense. It's kind of an incorrect then if the part of RFK's in there talking about it. It's just going on deaf ear.
Great point. And that is true. I think maybe that is the final takeaway to the whole Thomas Massie consideration. He is he might be the tip of the spear, but I don't think he's the only one.
Well, you brought up a good point when you say, which is then kind of ironic when we bring up Ron and Rand Paul, and he kind of got to start with them when he brings up what it was back in 2012. Yeah. And it feels like, okay, you have a couple young upstarts, essentially moderates, in a very divisive time that are kind of
libertarians.
Yes, pushing both sides of the aisle. But I want to consider Massie really a libertarian at heart. I understand he's against wars. I'm honestly going at this point now saying if you're against wars, that doesn't inherently make you a libertarian. I feel like that makes you pretty normal. I understand there's a party for it, and then the parties on the right and the left are pushing for it or against it for their own.
Well, just know he does claim to be.
No, I get
just like as Ron and Rand Paul do.
I get that.
They're libertarian conservatives.
I get that, but I think going forward they need to move away from calling themselves libertarian in general, because when you in modern politics, when people hear libertarian, they roll their eyes and think nothing's getting done with them.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I think more libertarian, the word.
Here's what I'll say. I think the people within the know are judging anybody that rolls their eyes at libertarian. Just the term. Like if you unplug it, that that means you're not, again, what do I say a million times over? Everybody wants a political opinion. Nobody wants to do the political homework. Anybody that's like saying then a Democrat should never say communism. They shouldn't, because is that a bad policy to tie themselves to? However, they're convicted in that. And communism really is definitively what they're pushing for. They want socialism. They want community, everything, community resources, community occupation, everything. So this is by definition libertarian. I can understand. I agree that like socially there is a connotation.
Yeah,
but that more is a reflection of our ignorant population. That's my position on it.
And that's my fear though, when I say it though. Is
but you got to understand, a brilliant dude from MIT that has a Klux capacitor, that dude is going to be bound by principle. Right. That guy's going to go, you might not know what it means, but I'm not going to call myself a chicken because it makes you feel better. I'm not a chicken. I'm a libertarian. That's what, like, I just like me, the principle of like, this is a moot point that I had to even say, because it'd be wrong of us to purport him to be something he isn't.
Right.
He would go, no. I mean, I am, because that's just the definition he's bound by. When you go no new wars, that's part of it. No spending, that's part of it. Eating children, who knew? I don't even think the libertarians knew that was a box to check, but they're like, put that one on the list. Cha-ching. So he does line logically consistent. And part of the reason why I kind of want to hold that line is because I do also think we're at a turning point.
Right. And that's
and I think if we can, nobody wants to be a Republican. Yeah. The only people voting Republican are the ones that are like, I just can't go Democrat. Like, I'm not going to vote for cutting a kid's wiener off. So I'm forced to consider something else. Well, that means there's a whole population that's going, this Republican Party sucks. And what better opportunity do we have than right now? I mean, does anybody, if I say a name, Doug might be the only one that remembers it. You might. Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
So here's a guy that held the line to a fault. Like, I literally just killed his career. Yeah. He ran against Trump and Hillary the first go around, and he was the libertarian candidate. And at first, boy, did he seem like a great choice. Then he just kept repeating this. He became a broken record to where it was like, oh, you're just a scripted pawn. You're not actually genuine.
But that's my fear when like they go as libertarians, because it gives that perceived notion.
I agree.
That's what it is.
Well, and then look at the last libertarian.
That's when I jokingly mentioned like go as like the coalition. It's like give yourself a new brand, which yes, you are. You are a libertarian. People in the know that are politically savvy can listen to what you're saying. You're like, this sounds like a libertarian. But when you say libertarian to the non in the know people, that's when they roll their eyes and they're like, they don't even consider.
Well, see, and I don't even think you're right.
So that's
the way I
presented.
That's what I was
trying to get.
Well, and where I kind of shorted the dialogue is I painted the picture as those in the know and those not.
Right.
Really, the line is generational.
Yes.
Millennials don't take libertarians serious.
Yes.
And the MIT libertarian from Kentucky, at some point, he's looking at the bitch with a double pump caramel macchiato, and he's like, I'm never going to get you to get it.
Right.
And what's a lot easier is the old head, like your dad, getting that guy to know what he believes by saying libertarian. Jeff knows exactly what he's saying.
Right.
Now try getting Jeff to learn what a coalition is. We just made it up. Like Becky with her caramel macchiato did learn about it on a TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's... For him, he wants to make a trigger point. We're still not the masses. And that's why I don't hold back on my punches with boomers.
I'd like for us to move more to
we need a
I'd say
moderate
parliamentary, just purely because
that's
what comes
that'd
with
be
multiple
awesome, Doug.
parties. You know, multiple parties, like just two-party system where there truly is no room for a third or a fourth.
And that's
but
kind of
America
what I
has
meant
moved to the
by
point
with
where we
it.
need more.
Because I agree, because it's more he's running on principles. His principles align with libertarian. But the
100%.
issue is that word to people, they just kind of glaze over, they don't care, which is a shame. Because realistically, the man is running on principles where if you just didn't know what he was associated with and started he started talking about his principles, people will be agreeing with him.
Right.
Then at the end, he says, "Oh, I'm a libertarian." That's when they go, "Oh, okay."
No,
I'm
not
my
disagreeing
fear.
with that.
That's more my fear. And
I
it's
just
more
don't
like
know
going
if
forward.
you create a whole you either
So I guess it'd be the party of
look at how
moderates.
Trump rebranded the Republicans.
Right.
You're better off trying to rebrand libertarian, which is already household understood, than creating something totally new and getting the boomers to learn it.
Well, that's what I mean.
My
That's what, like,
dad's
I would
not
say.
listening to a podcast.
Right.
And unless Gutfeld tells him, he'll never learn it. And Gutfeld is invested to make sure we never learn about the coalition.
Right.
So my fear is he knows the controlling base is still the boomers. And the only way they learn about it, they're not learning about it. They're done learning. The cap on growth for that dumb generation is over. Now it's, well, shit, I got to work with what they got.
Right. So I guess if he were to start something like that now, it would be more beneficial in like a decade or two now. When you get what I mean,
Right.
But like,
And
it's a hard ask.
I'm
It's a
all
hard ask
for
to sell.
he needs to work out his strategy. And there's some good considerations you raise, and I think there's a lot in front of him. As far as our considerations go, please indulge me. I've already, ranted about it. So I want to pull up a clip that I posted recently about what I genuinely, this is what the populists need to do. Nuanced opinions. See, here's the thing. I got nuanced opinions. So do you. I didn't love that we opened the floodgates for this immigration problem a couple years ago, but I do think ICE is crossing some lines. You're never going to get me to do the pronoun charade, but I'm going to defend the liberty of a free-grown adult to the day I die. We're in this together. I've got opinions you don't like. You got opinions I don't like. But if there's one thing we could say about the atmosphere we're in right now and this climate is that none of us are being represented. I just saw a video and the guy's like, would I rather vote for a turd sandwich or a piss milkshake? That's what we keep getting every year. And as long as you keep playing the bipartisanship merry-go-round, you're going to keep ending in the same place. How about this? I don't care who you vote for. Vote for Kanye. Vote for Bob Ross. Whoever you want. But I think we win the day we stop playing the charade of red or blue, red or blue. We're all purple. So let's force many options. And yeah, we may not get the person we want, but as long as those two parties lose, and it's anybody else, our voice is heard, that we have departed the matrix and we are now living autonomously, individually. It's going to be sporadic at first, but that's the message, that we ain't playing that game anymore. So again, that's what I'm looking at, is what our plan needs to be is, I don't care. You can't find anybody good enough. We should, the message, what I'm voting for now is not a person, but a departure from that matrix. Mm-hmm. The ones and the zeros, That's all you get. Ones and zeros. No, red and blue. I'm done. And I think if we can compel people to make that's what you're voting for. That's the policy. That's the person. That's the figurehead, is nobody. Anybody but red or blue. I think that's the message.
Yeah.
But
and that's my thing with Thomas, is like, if you want to, you could be the next star. Because I guess that was my biggest criticism with Ron and Rand, is they never fully went in on it, which, again, I think everybody here, we probably, in two politicians in our whole lives, we probably agreed with them the most. And they never really felt like they could get off the ground. I just would hate to see the same happen for Thomas Massie, when we are at this point where we don't want to vote red, we don't want to vote blue. I just think libertarian would be a hard sell.
And I don't want to sit here, because I definitely don't believe this. This is not my position. But it's not to say that Rand Paul and Ron Paul weren't strong speakers. They very clearly were, and they had great messages.
Their own way.
Oh, yes, for sure. With all that considered, they weren't able to get traction throughout their career. And I don't know if it's charisma, or I don't know what it is. I mean, hell, Doug, get this. Doug played a full 18 holes with Sr. never exchanged a word for the most part. Like, that's not a politician.
Right.
If I'm playing 18 holes with that guy, Thomas Massie and I are having a ball.
Yeah.
So
Paul was a very quiet man.
Well, so but Doug, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is part of the reason they failed is because they held on to true great beliefs. Their policies were reliable, but they weren't cunning, suave, persuasive, and they didn't have the rest. Like, Thomas, do you understand? Thomas Massie has the biggest, most evil politician in our history calling for his head daily. Trump cannot stop Truth Social posting about this guy. He's obsessed. So you want to talk about Trump derangement syndrome? Trump is deranged about this guy. So even when the world is stacked against him, he's got, who's Ro Khanna? Anybody know who this? I didn't vote blue, and he isn't from my state. I know his name. I could pick him out of a lineup now.
Yeah.
So here's a guy from across the aisle that's willing to jump in the trench and fight with you. Full heart. I mean, against the biggest political mechanism we've ever seen. Ron and Rand never had that.
No.
So there's something to, you're able to create cooperation across the aisle and internally where most politicians can't. There, you see it here when he gives his speeches. The guy's like a stand-up comedian. There's enough personality there that it's an incredible. So I think what also benefits him is he's able to make a connection where they never were able to, just personally.
Yes. And that's for me why I think it'd be beneficial going forward to, again, if he comes out and says I'm running as a libertarian, it's not going to go well for him. But if he comes out and tries to run as something different, maybe it could help. I don't know if that's the right move.
That's a fair point.
I don't know if that's the right move, but I just know how the voter base is. You come out as a libertarian, you're not getting any steam. You're not getting any steam. I don't know what it could go for being there, but I do agree. What does he have the benefit of that Ron and Rand didn't, is what you just said. He is able to pull moderates on the other side in line with him, even when they have differences. And it's been a while since we've seen that.
Right. Doug, any considerations or thoughts? We threw a lot all across the board.
This guy's more normal and more approachable than most people. And I like that we know him. Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't go see any of our people, but I would go see him.
Right. That's the funniest. It was amazing how many of my friends that were like, oh, dude, I would totally be there. But it was a busy weekend. Ricky, and as somebody that really doesn't live in this world, as we kind of throw you in the deep end, what are your impressions? Likes, dislikes? What are you seeing?
I fucks with him. He talks about good shit, Second Amendment, pro-life, care about food. I care about that, and care about putting people in jail for the PDF stuff,
Right. And again, I look at Trump and I go, where's the miss?
Yeah. He's a
Payne Lutnick laughing next to you. Yeah, I'm cool with
and
missing
I'm
that
also
one.
all about less government interference, man. I'm all about that.
Well, and like the criteria he gives, I'm looking at first, can we afford it? No. Then I'm going, is this a state issue or a local issue? Because if so, we shouldn't even be talking about it. I mean, right there alone, is anybody else in the room using that checklist? No.
Not really, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a shame. I want to just hammer home, don't forget about this Roundup issue, glyphosate, how we're creating gluten intolerances, and the president's trying to protect it for the big money cronies. Last thing I want to remind you, which you opened up with, can we vote our way out of this? No. But the way we definitely can is enforcing single issue voting so we don't get some giant omnibus bill that sneaks in 50 million different things. With that being said, I know it was dense. We're going to probably keep this second topic quick so we can get going. Let's get to our next topic here. LaMelo Ball.
Come on now, that's racist. That's
Yeah.
racist.
No, that's racist. You're funny, dude.
Or was was he being serious, Alex?
I mean, he was, but the seriousness made me giggle. I'm laughing at
No, I'm not serious. Just talking shit.
I'm serious.
But mellow ball, bro. The ball, bro.
Oh, Ricky, we are definitely outside right now.
Let's stop pretending we don't know what privilege actually looks like in 2026, because it's not what we're constantly told it is. It's not the buzzwords. It's not the academic theories. It's not the recycled outrage packages designed to keep everybody arguing in circles. Modern American privilege looks like insulation. It looks like being so valuable to a system that the system refuses to discipline you. Look at LaMelo Ball, franchise star of the Charlotte Hornets. Electric talent, massive contract, walking revenue stream. Now, look at how he behaves in Charlotte. The highlights are fun. The driving, not so much. Reckless speeding, viral clips, prior incidents, and then this weekend, a blatant crash on camera, public, undeniable. And what followed? No charges, no meaningful public apology, no visible accountability, just the quiet smoothing of edges. If you and I did that on video, the consequences would not be so optional. Court dates, insurance nightmares, public embarrassment, maybe even worse. But when you generate revenue, when you're a brand, when institutions have a financial incentive to protect you, suddenly mistakes become incidents. Incidents become misunderstandings, and misunderstandings disappear. That's privilege. And notice how quickly the national conversation pivots away from that reality. We're constantly told that America is structurally obsessed with discrimination, that the system is fundamentally rigged in one direction. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The system protects value. The value in 2026 is measured in dollars, visibility, and leverage. If you can afford the lawyers, the PR cleanup, the quiet conversations behind closed doors, accountability becomes flexible. If you can't, accountability is swift and unforgiving. That's the divide. Not the one we're told to fight about, the one that actually determines who pays and who walks. And here's the part nobody says out loud. When someone is shielded from consequences over and over again, they don't evolve the way normal people do. Most of us mature because we hit walls, we feel pain, we recalibrate. But if every wall is padded, if every fall is caught by handlers, you don't grow. You escalate. And then years later, when another celebrity implodes or crosses a line even further, we act stunned. Why? We train them. Why? We literally train them that those rules don't apply to them. This isn't about talent. LaMelo Ball is undeniably gifted. It's about what happens when society confuses talent with exemption, when fame becomes a liability shield, when money quietly overrides principle. If you can afford to pay and have it all wiped away, it just is. And accountability only collects on the rest of us plebes. The social and political system wants us desperately invested in keeping racism alive, so we fight amongst ourselves and do not align our interests against our true oppressor. And it's instances like these that highlight how much of a fictional charade racism really is in America in 2026. So if we're going to talk about privilege of the present moment, let's talk about the version you can actually measure. Who faces consequences and who doesn't? Because if in modern America, justice isn't color-coded, it's value-coded. And the higher your market value, the lower the odds you have of ever truly paying up. That's the conversation we're not supposed to have. But maybe it's the only honest one left. Because again, let's consider we just had this whole Thomas Massie conversation. We're considering the Epstein files and everything else. The higher up the totem pole, the less you have to pay. So let's just get right to it. Here's a clip that came from this weekend, LaMelo Ball leaving Charlotte's Hornets game. Big Hummer. Ba-boom.
Jeez.
Yeah. Imagine if that was your car. Look at how
Pay me my money.
I mean, that is true. I'm sure that person got paid. They're not shutting up about this.
Oh, I wouldn't. Dude,
He probably was
I feel
texting
like
or
that
some shit.
dude from the player that got punched.
Oh,
And
in
I
the
show
football
up,
game?
Yeah, and I'd show up with a neck brace. And everywhere I went, I got paid. I would.
You're gonna be wearing Big Baller Brand for
Dude,
the rest of your life.
Every single time I had to show up, I'd have something new.
Doug.
I'd have like a cane. And then I'd have like a neck brace to start, and then come out with like a limp. Then I'd have a cane, and then I'd be wheeling myself out every new time I had to go to a court case.
Crutches.
It's a new thing every single time.
I like it.
That's what I would do. I'm with Ricky. That's just a payday right there.
Thanks, bro. I ain't getting out that car.
There.
Bro, they're gonna have to get the jaws of life to get me out that bitch.
They're gonna have to pull you out. You're like, no,
no, I can't leave. Oh,
So
I'd be screaming too. You're gonna pay me. You're gonna pay for this.
Right.
Yeah.
He did it. You know.
Well, what's even
That
scarier?
body camera footage is what's going to sell it in court too. You know,
What's
they're
funny?
yelling, going, "Oh, my neck!" You know,
It's not even body cam. Literally, the streets
That's true,
told on
too.
you.
Yeah, this is traffic cam.
Literally, the streets were like, "Boo!"
The streets spoke. You lost.
You lose.
Damn. What was he doing? Running or like? He got to be texting.
Well, and here's the biggest problem: that's what I was going to get to next. The fact that LaMelo literally has a reputation for being a menace in Charlotte. Like, I could have bored us with clips on clips of people in downtown Charlotte that's like, oh no, a game's out. Everybody run and hide. LaMelo's driving home. That's your reputation, bruh.
That's
like,
awesome.
this happened this weekend, but your reputation is you almost hit people on the crosswalks in a car every week.
His reputation precedes him.
Yeah.
You got it.
His reputation is he's on the road again.
He's on
It
the
does
road
go
again.
through, like, it's the money thing, bro. That the newer generation, like, don't give no. Like, if they have it and they think they can pay their way out of it, they don't care. They're just going through life, main character.
Yeah.
But even more so, Ricky, like you and I and everybody in this room, we've all done stupid things as kids. You know, growing up, we did things that we don't regret, but probably shouldn't have done. Plenty of it. And he's being cheated by, like, Doug was sitting. Doug and I went all the way out to a while away. We went and had what was it? The dirty biscuit. What? I don't know.
Vicious biscuit.
The vicious biscuit.
that dirty dog.
The dirty biscuit. We went to the vicious biscuit. Had some brunch, some mimosas.
Then you went.
Actually, we had no
And
mimosas.
then you went and got
I did have a mimosa. And it
We did
was a
have
damn
one.
Good
We didn't
mimosa.
have two because it was like $100
Yeah,
for
it was
one.
a lot, but it was a good
stupid.
mimosa.
So you guys had the vicious biscuit to go get the dirty biscuit. Is that
That's
what
right.
I'm hearing here?
So we're driving home, and a deer. It's the middle of black dark. Like, it's got to be 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I don't even remember, but it was black dark, and a deer just jumped out of nowhere. We're going 65, flying, just appeared, obliterated. Things like that happen.
Yeah. Cow.
And I'm sitting in the car going,
yeah,
what
Doug
happened?
or Will? Cow. Yeah, cow. Even bigger, even
bigger.
slower. Cows jump out in the middle of the night too, in the
Yeah.
middle of the road.
Wasn't moving that damn
In a
slow.
beamer, Will just levels out
Oh
a
my
cow.
God, Alex. So if you hit a cow with your car would have been obliterated. I
It
mean, the
would've.
cow
It
would
would've,
have
yeah.
just destroyed
Will,
your car.
as an expert, what do you say?
No, I think Doug's right. Doug, why do you think that is? You think it's because it's big?
Cow's big and they are freaking sturdy, man.
Boy,
they are
is it.
sturdy
Boy,
animals.
is it.
Yeah.
So, again, that's a story you'll forever have. That's a character building moment.
We just kept driving. We
And,
didn't really
and there's
know
also
what to
things
do.
that
So did I.
There's also things that we're not going to implicate ourselves with that also are like trouble inducing. And
Music was loud.
yeah, that was it. That was the extent of it.
hear
And
it.
I mean, Doug, think of college. We've got plenty of those stories. And it's one of I guess
good times in the past,
in the past, but you needed to survive them to build the character. LaMelo's he's being cheated out of those opportunities to grow from these moments because it just keeps getting taken care of for him.
Alex, real quick though, couldn't you say that for any famous athlete or person of young stature? Dude, they get away with all LeBron.
But isn't that part of the problem?
LeBron could have gotten away with murder.
Wait, can we
Let's
agree?
be honest.
I have friends that have gone totally sober and they're living their high life, figuratively only, not literally, because they're totally sober. And it is funny when you look at giggity. I totally forgot now. Doug, what were you saying?
I'm sorry.
What did you just say?
That athletes or young people with stature as a whole could get away, and then I mentioned LeBron could get away with murder.
Yeah, and they can.
Even LeBron's statue, bro. Like streamers, bro, they're getting away with so many BS just because they have a little
even
status,
more modern.
bro.
I was thinking more general across all time. Athletes is the one you think of, but you're right. Modern day streamers.
Miles Garrett's flipped like 2 or 3 cars since he's been a Cleveland Brown.
Didn't one of the streamers like hit somebody with a car?
And killed him. Clavicular killed a guy. Got away with
And
it
he's out
because
still
now
streaming.
he's best friends with Peter Thiel at Palantir. Yeah. It's kind of how it works.
They're mogging.
Sell your soul and you can get away with anything here. I mean, eternity is a long time after
Well, I
this,
mean, look
but
at Shador. Shador shows up and gets in trouble right away. Just saying.
Forgotten.
He had 2 speeding tickets in like a month.
And again,
Cleveland.
only speeding tickets, but again, like pushed under the rug.
Right.
Two in 1 month. I'm sorry, but maybe you should lose your license. I mean,
but that's the point. Is
So this is
so
second.
when-
This is second accident in 1 month.
No, Shador Sanders had 2 speeding tickets in 1 month within like 2 months of being here in Cleveland.
It was like in successive weekends. He got caught like 50
it was
miles
multiple
over.
weekends in a row he got caught.
when I look at these situations, like Doug keeps bringing up, like, young people were able to get away with it forever. That's true. Doug, let me finish, please, because I keep forgetting my thought because literally every time I'm trying to talk, it gets cut off by you. The fact that I don't even remember. You guys can take it from here. I don't remember.
Well, I just think you see it a lot in athletes more so. And Ricky, I'm glad you brought up streamers as well. You don't necessarily see actors or stuff like Nepo baby actors kind of get in situations like this. There's
Charlie Sheen.
There's this much more behavioral, but Charlie Sheen was by the time Charlie Sheen was doing it, he was a full-grown man.
He was a Nepo actor.
So that's what I was going to get at is, I have a friend that will commit themselves to being sober, and that's their lifestyle. They're committed to that because they have to have a career. They want to build a family, everything considered. Then somebody like Shia LaBeouf can be sober for a moment and then go on a racist rampage in Louisiana, and he'll still have a gig. Mm-hmm. He'll still keep moving on. It's just one of those and then we're surprised, like, oh my God, did you see Shia LaBeouf? And he was on Bourbon Street doing Bourbon Street things.
You know what? I actually saw a tweet that perfectly described Shia LaBeouf to our generation, and he's the Mel Gibson millennial.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Will,
I think he wishes
like
he was
that,
Mel
though.
Gibson. Why?
I like that because
Mel Gibson was never in the shit that he was in.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yes,
like what?
Mel Gibson.
Hold up. Do not bring up him yelling at his girlfriend because that's a totally different thing.
That's not even it.
It wasn't even that. It was like the whole Passion of the Christ incident. His whole thing.
He went on a whole anti-Semitic
He got
rant.
blackballed literally from Hollywood for a decade, and by that point, he was like, unlike
so
Shia
how's
LaBeouf,
that Shia LaBeouf? I'm confused what Shia LaBeouf's doing anything like this.
Because both of them were drunks. Both of them were very abrasive with their words. Both of them, they're very not the Hollywood core, but they were made in it. So they're just sort of like these. And again, it's just a different generation. If you go back and look at the Mel Gibson thing, it wasn't just him yelling at his wife or his fiance or whatever she was. There was like a couple other things, like the whole Passion of the Christ thing. Like Hollywood was pissed off he made that movie. Like they banned him because he went against God's chosen people. Like
when has Shia LaBeouf been banned?
He's not. Well,
but that's what I'm saying. They're entirely different people.
I'm saying he kind of is. I mean, when was the last time you saw Shia LaBeouf in a movie?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Shia LaBeouf in a movie?
He did the peanut butter thing.
When was
with
that?
the kid with Down syndrome.
But like, how big was that movie? I'm talking about Shia LaBeouf used to be in big movies. Then he started getting in
Fury
acting,
was pretty
you know,
huge.
but like that was what, over a decade ago?
Yeah, close.
Yeah. So I mean, like in recent years, but it was kind of just different avenues of it where, yeah, no, Hollywood kind of shut them both out.
I see Shia LaBeouf. He's such an artist type of personality that, like, character wise, I just can't even see them in the same Venn diagram. They're like so very different artistically. Even just one's a creator, one's an actor. Like Shia LaBeouf doesn't write. Shia LaBeouf doesn't create. He carries out other people's creations. Where when I look at, like, dude, Passion of the Christ, he did that. He acted. He did great acting. The Patriot, Braveheart, but
We Were Soldiers, all time.
he also went on to like create a whole wing of like Hollywood studio, which I don't. One, Shia LaBeouf would be at that. He'd have to be at that height right now to be within the same consideration.
But
I don't even see him getting to the point where he is studio, like himself, studio level.
But I think, I mean, at one point he was. I mean, he was a Transformers kid. He was in Indiana Jones.
But he didn't make like
I
okay,
understand
he's as big then as Megan Fox. But that isn't like creating.
But you got to think, Mel
studios.
Gibson didn't create for the first 2 decades of his career. Like he was in Lethal
And
Weapons.
Shia LaBeouf's done. That's what I mean. Like this guy had one of the most prolific acting careers and then directing and writing careers.
I don't know, man. I just saw a tweet that said he was the Mel Gibson millennial, and I thought that was kind of funny.
I kind of get it. I won't lie. I mean, Alex has brought up some valid points that
But
make me
also
do
the
question
Nepo
it,
baby
but
thing.
I do kind of get it.
But also the Nepo baby thing for Shia. I mean, he was a Nepo baby, born and raised California kid. And I mean, his consequences have caught up to him. Like, but it took a lot of consequences for it to finally get to him.
I mean, I'd say he's our Macaulay Culkin before I'd say he's our Mel Gibson.
Oh, I would definitely say he's above Macaulay Culkin. I mean, he was an actor
That's-
into his adulthood. Macaulay Culkin is still
Right.
really known as the Home Alone kid.
True.
You know,
But-
so it's
but-
kind of one of those things, but it's wondering if
But that's what I mean is here's a guy that did kid acting and just only did acting. And then at some point pittered out. Mel Gibson has removed himself. If Mel Gibson did want to do something right now, he'd piss off a lot of people, but he
for like 15
carried
years, he
out.
wasn't able to. Like 15 years, Hollywood blackballed him. It took Robert Downey Jr. of all people. It was like some award show, like a decade later, saying, "You all forgave me for all my stuff. It's about time you finally forgive him." As he was giving, Mel Gibson was just presenting an award that he gave to Robert Downey Jr. That it was just kind of one of those things. And I mean, someday someone might do that the same to Shia LaBeouf if he finally gets his act together.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting consideration. Here's the thing, because you and I aren't watching it doesn't mean that he isn't. And he isn't blackballed. That's the weird thing, is like his acting career may have slowed down, but he isn't blackballed, especially not publicly into the degree Mel Gibson is. But again, it's still an interesting consideration.
What was our dude, this isn't even a joke. I like Shia LaBeouf and Mel Gibson comparison has just drained my brain. What is how do we get to this again?
I just brought up a tweet. Like it was just, I just brought up a tweet. I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
Alex brought up Shia LaBeouf. Like
it
it was about the consequences thing. It's like people
yes.
they're able to kind of completely misbehave. And I mean, Shia LaBeouf got arrested and within he bailed himself out, was immediately back on Bourbon Street.
Right.
Like that's what we're talking about. And then back to LaMelo Ball. Like I guarantee you his Hummer's already in the shop getting fixed and he's going to drive it next week. So it's kind of, that's where the conversation
Or he'll
starts
just
from.
total it and buy a new one from the top.
Right. So it again, it's when it comes down to that whole Nepo baby, and I won't say Nepo baby because I mean Myles Garrett's not a Nepo baby, but you have these very famous, prominent individuals, whether it be whatever their career is, they do kind of, I mean, hell, my guy Baker Mayfield got arrested in college for public intoxication. 6 months later, he went #1. So, you know, like there is.
And the video of Baker getting tackled too was hilarious.
Right. But like, it's one of those things where like, if we run from the cops and get tackled, we're on probation for at least a year.
And it's going to affect your career. Like it's going back to work with you.
Yeah.
And it probably won't go over well.
So
yeah, it's it's sad that there's such this divide, but it is with the Epstein files and, things like House Bill 188, just selling Ohio to God's chosen people, and all these things that just keep happening. It's so clear where the line is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that's in my skin or not in my skin that isn't making my life just as hard as yours. We are in this together. The same taxes that apply to me apply to you. The same laws that apply to me apply to you. But all of the things that I could list don't apply to them.
And it's more of a fame thing.
Well, I
wouldn't even
would
say
disagree
necessarily
because there's Saudi princesses. We don't even know their name. Princes. We don't even know their name. They could get away with murder. Literally, look at the Las Vegas
I
shooting.
know. I guess my point was more for like the famous figures, the famous athletes. It's like, sure, they have money, but it's more their notoriety that kind of gets them out more so.
But even more so, the line isn't celebrity stardom. It's power and money.
Yeah.
Because you may not know Congressperson 222's daughter's name.
Mm-hmm.
That person's getting away with whatever they want.
Right.
So it's whether we know them or not, the line is the one. It's so Bernie and it's so cliche, but there is 1% that has it all, and it's at the behest of the rest.
Yep.
Even like
Does
the
anybody?
small towns, bro. Like, if your family run the small town and they know the judge and everybody, more than likely you're gonna get out of a couple crack over your lifetime.
Like the was it South Carolina Murdaugh family?
Murdochs.
Dude.
The
Yeah.
Murdochs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Perfect example. And that's exactly a perfect one to end off on, that the Murdochs are no different than the balls. And when you totally distill melanin from it all, it's money and power. That's the divide. Anybody else? Any rapid thoughts? Let's get to our final topic. Last conclusion that I have for us here. So you're good, Doug. You're good. So here's the uncomfortable takeaway. Privilege in the modern America isn't about identity anymore. It's about insulation. It's about how far your value extends beyond your behavior. It's about whether institutions see you as replaceable or too profitable to punish. When a regular person makes a reckless mistake, the system corrects them swiftly. Fines, court dates, insurance hikes, consequences that sting just enough to teach restraint. But when someone becomes a walking asset, when they generate ticket sales, sponsorships, headlines, engagement, accountability becomes negotiable. That's the real divide. No left versus right, no black versus white. Not oppressed versus oppressor. Valuable versus expendable. And the more valuable you are to the powerful institutions, the more flexible the rules become. That's not a conspiracy, it's incentive structure. If we want a serious conversation about fairness in this country, we have to stop arguing about narratives and start examining incentives. Who benefits from protection? Who pays when mistakes are made? Who gets padded walls? And who hits the concrete? Because until consequences apply evenly, talent will be confused with exemption. Fame will be mistaken for character, and growth will be optional for the people most shielded from it. That's what modern privilege looks like. And if we can't admit that, we're not really serious about justice. We're just serious about the story. All right, let's get to our last topic here. More than anything, I don't have any media, just to present the story. Let's talk about tech headlines that sound like pure science fiction, which seems to be the theme every time we bring up science headlines anymore. Yet it just hit the real world with very real dollars behind it. Apple has just announced what's being reported as its second largest acquisition ever. A nearly $2 billion buyout of the Israeli AI startup Q.ai. This isn't Beats 2.0. It isn't another hardware accessory. What Apple just bought is a radical shift in how humans might interact with machines, turning intention into input without a single audible word being spoken. Q.ai specialized in what the industry calls silent speech technology, machine learning systems that can interpret extremely faint facial micro movements, widespread speech, whispered speech, and even subtle muscle signals from the face and jaw. According to patent filings and reportings, this tech uses imaging plus AI to detect what might be being mouthed or intended before it's even spoken aloud, especially allowing a device to understand you without sound at all. Imagine that for a moment. You're in a crowded cafe, a packed train, or a quiet office. Instead of shouting at Siri or tapping on a screen, you could simply move your facial muscles. Just a slight mouthing of words, and your device understands you. Commands could be sent silently. Interfaces could read micro movements. Technology could respond to your intent rather than your voice. For Apple, this is a huge leap. The company is known for pushing interaction models from touch screens to Face ID to voice assistants. And now they're betting big that the future looks less like speaking at your device and more like thinking with our faces. Internally, executives have praised Q.ai's mix of imaging and machine learning as pioneering new ways to interact with technology. Practically, this could show up in a range of Apple products. AirPods that interpret commands from micro gestures in noisy environments, Vision Pro or future AR wearables that respond to silent intent, Siri or AI agents that don't need audible speech to understand you, accessibility enhancements for people with speech impairments or mobility restrictions. But let's be honest, when you start teaching machines to read micro movements, the conversation stops being purely about convenience and starts being about privacy, agency, and most importantly, control. Because reading facial cues, especially nonverbal ones, is a lot closer to anticipating thought than just interpreting sound. So some observers have already raised concerns about the implications of devices that can infer what you're trying to communicate before you even speak it out loud. Whether you see this as a breakthrough in human-computer interaction or a slippery slope toward increasingly intimate tech surveillance, one thing is clear: Apple isn't just buying technology, it's signaling a direction. The next stage of AI isn't going to wait for full sentences, keyboard taps, or spoken commands. The next frontier might be silence.
Dude.
Well,
Somewhere Helen Keller's in her grave, rolling right now.
I missed the best of times.
I was gonna say that's a hell.
I thought of her the whole time. I was like, somewhere that woman is rolling in her grave.
See, Will, that's funny. My first thought as soon as Alex started talking is, okay, I understand the disability side, but my immediate thought was, okay, so now any camera anywhere will know what I'm saying without a mic being near. Great. More Big Brother.
So I love Doug. I'm finally breaking through. I'm making a dent on that guy. He's getting it. His brain went right to the right place. Doug, you want to know where my brain went to? First thing, the second I swipe on a reel, a TikTok, or a short about God's chosen people, and I make a face, to the gulag.
Yeah, especially because you have an Apple phone.
I'm gonna see one of those things. I'm gonna be like, these motherfuckers, and then they're like, get him.
He's gonna see the first one and go like this. Oh, they're gonna got him.
I'm gonna laugh, be like, he's a goyim that gets
Hey,
it.
Alex, this is why I have a Google phone. No, I gotta tell you, none of that crap on my Google phone.
It's
It's
getting
all
to
owned
that
by
point.
Apple. It's owned by Apple.
Man, you almost sold me on it. Not buying it. But it is funny to consider because the whole time I feel like every week we've had at least one of these science topics for about the past month where you get halfway through it and Doug and I think of a movie. I can't think of a movie on this one. I can't think of a movie they've made that has kind of replicated this.
It's because you're living it. Can you imagine, like, this is how you're gonna have to swipe on your phone from here on out? Like,
but it still can read your eyebrows.
Nazi meme and
Wait, so
What does that
21
say?
Pilots called it?
That was a good one.
You're welcome, Alex.
Yo, I never thought I'd see this. I never
For
thought I'd
the
see
folks
you
that are just
shiesty,
listening to the audio version, I have this like face covering. It's a
Shiesty.
joke.
dog. A shiesty, dog.
let's agree. This is going to be the future. This is how you're going to have to scroll on your phone.
Well, it's going to be super annoying is you're going to have to take that off to unlock your phone and put that on.
You're gonna need sunglasses too, because they're gonna read your eyes, your eyebrows twitch.
At this point, if that doesn't tell you that
you're gonna have to be, you're gonna have to be like the other God's chosen people.
That's right. That's right. The other thing is the cases that are going to make the most money now are going to be the ones that have a slide to cover my camera. Because I'm gonna keep swiping, I'm gonna keep looking at memes, and you're not getting the data. Did he laugh? Oh, did he? Do we need to throw him away? You'll
Bravo
never know.
6, he's gone dark.
Bravo 6, he's memeing in the dark. That's funny, dude.
Gonna be on the toilet at work.
That's very Fahrenheit 451 too, where they have the AI watching you and everything.
It's true.
I guess that's the closest to a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, finally, Will, we did it.
Yeah, we got there. The whole time I was thinking, I was like, last week, I was like, oh yeah, last week it was The Island. This week, I'm like, I got nothing. All I got's Helen Keller.
There's always a movie.
Let's
be honest, technology actually goes off of what people have thought up. Like, let's be honest, communicators in Star Trek in 1960, those are cell phones today. Yeah. You know, like their technology from shows back in the day, imagination actually spurs the invention.
So it's one of those things too, where is CCTV going to be able to predict what you're saying across the street?
Well, here's where we got to keep it limited. Fortunately, the innovator Steve Jobs died, and Tim Cook can just make the phone taller, skinnier, wider, thicker. Every time it's a little bit different, but it's the same damn product.
You can even
that guy is incapable of true technological advancement. It isn't coming from Apple. Apple continues to enhance what they got, but there's no new developments. I would have feared if Steve Jobs somehow kicked cancer and survived the next 2 or 3 decades, or even just one, but let's say 2 decades beyond his passing. I would have genuinely feared Apple traffic lights, Apple cash registers,
Alex,
Apple,
no.
It would have gone on to be everything.
Alex, this would be straight up from Futurama, the Apple iPhone, where they inject something into your eye and it just projects in front of you. You know, it's just projection.
But okay, so yes, that's a future
Terrible
advancement.
Go on in your eye.
Yes,
I don't want that.
That's a significant advancement of the phone. But the bigger point I was trying to make is you would have had an Apple toaster. Like Wise, the company, you can lift your garage, you can turn on a light, you can set your temperature. Like they've got that would have been Apple.
Siri would have been walking by now.
And this technology would have been scary if that was our world.
Right.
But if the extent at which this technology, for the time being, for the extent of it will only be on iPhones, first off, like Doug over there, Android boy, half the population's fine. Mm-hmm. Then for the other half, it's like, just don't do any of this stuff in front of your phone.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to know you love Red Robin if you just get big-eyed every time that cheeseburger comes by. It's going to know. But you can wear the mask.
My phone definitely knows I like golf because it's so many videos and ads are about golf at this point. I'm ready for golf. I'm ready for golf.
Big golf guy. Big golf guy.
My golf would hate.
Hey, Ricky, you excited for golf?
I'm excited to hit some drivers this season.
Okay?
I am quite excited to hit some drivers and possibly not break a company's vehicle and not get hit in the ass.
UPS would love that.
Oh my god.
Ricky, you are still the most unique experience I've ever.
The thought of the traffic light ones, though, that would terrify me. Imagine it just flipping on its own.
Well, and at some point,
because
it's gonna get to that.
you're in someone's in a car chase, right? But you're just pedestrian civilian driving, and it immediately goes to red, so you stop and it freaks you out, and then the car hits
in
you.
their comments for you.
That's what I mean. Like, if that's the case, and they can, we should stop this intersection.
But
fully.
is that any different than we currently have? An ambulance or a
True.
thing drives
No,
through.
but my biggest point is an Apple light, traffic light is going to be having cameras. It's going to be monitoring. It's going to have, how about this?
Washington, D.C. has the most cameras per capita than anywhere in the world.
I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
But look at like Amazon Prime's technology or Amazon's technology, where they use it in their factories to monitor how long people are taking breaks, how long, where people are going. And it's just like an AI that follows the employees. That's in the corporate world. That's our future going to be applied to the public world. All right. Any rapid thoughts on Q.ai so we can start closing out this plane?
Honestly, just one. What's the Q stand for?
Oh, good question.
QAnon.
Quantum.
I like that.
Quantum.
No.
AI.
Yeah.
that's dumb.
No, it's Glenn Maxwell over there on Reddit going Q, 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 Q.
Yeah, no. Actually, I like that. Q.ai, of all the ones we've done in recent weeks, they've always
Quantum
names
AI
kind of float in. It's like Q.ai.
Did you pick up on who sold it?
So that comment I just told you on my side of the chat, sorry, they said that that company, they target low income people, low income households, and pay you for your data.
Well, that's fun.
And they'll do it. They'll
That's
be like, I ain't got nothing to hide, and then they'll do it, and then we're cooked. It starts there.
So he's asking, Ortiz is asking, what's your thought on that?
I just find it humorous, the idea of them looking at memes, like them watching you look at memes and go, this guy. That's what I'm like. So.
Well, directly addressing your thought about like them targeting low income. So we just had a whole episode where power is creating a vacuum of necessity. Like, why are you targeting low income people beyond the fact that they need it? Like, you are taking advantage of people's disparity. The sickest part of this situation is it's a disparity the system created.
Right.
That totally intentionally. Yeah. So that way they could control and they know, look at us. We're comfortable. We would never. So now we need to make people let's make them less comfortable to where they need it.
Yeah.
Because those people deep down don't want it. No. They'd happily spit in the face of this consideration if they were comfortable. So that's why we intentionally make people desperate and uncomfortable so they can throw themselves into these situations where, hey, you had the autonomy. You chose to do it. I didn't have a choice. You've created a lifestyle where I'm desperate and in need. Yeah. Anybody wrapping thoughts? Anything else?
No, it's just another weird new technology that's just quiet. Like, I didn't know anything about this topic, and it's just out there.
Dude,
another AI thing that I didn't know.
Exponential.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying not to have this show totally consumed and taken over by AI and in the new developments, but it's like that is the future. It is taking over. Perfectly said, Doug. And there's no way to.
Oh, I was just something stupid. Sorry, y'all serious. I was just saying, imagine being in a relationship. You can't even scroll past nothing anymore. Just like, briefly, like,
thing you want is
one eyebrow
to be behind the second she gets her hands on this technology, you're cooked.
Alex, I work for a software company. Even we don't really want AI involved for the most part, because it's like you have to feed information into an AI. And that means you're giving away your information to that AI, which is why, like, we are focusing on finding an AI company that won't spread our data to the public AIs. And that's so incredibly hard to find, because every AI, the basis is you feed it in, everyone gets access. It's like, no, we don't want to feed our proprietary information into something that we have no control over.
Perfectly said. No, it's so true. Mm-hmm. So true. Do we have time to do the wheel? What do we think?
I mean,
Ricky?
See what the wheel lands on, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's
click
over the wheel.
That's not bad. If it's a game, Wiki sometimes gets a little crazy.
But the Wiki might be fun. All right, guys. Thanks for. Oh wait.
Hold on. Yeah, switch that back over, Alex.
Boom, boom.
You're right. Error.
That's right. The whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. Get yourself featured on the Wheel of Topics if you head on over to the NeuroGym, www.rethinktankpodcast.com. It's interesting.
Well,
because-
Alex, real quick, man,
Yes.
if you don't want to go with this, I saw Ricky put into the chat that someone from his chat asked about Nielsen data analytics. I don't know if we want to talk about Nielsen.
Yeah, maybe let's do that. So, Ricky, what do you got?
No, that's what he said. That was earlier, but that's what he said. Nielsen is targeting low-income household to sell their data.
Oh, okay. Yeah, brilliant. Nielsen, way to go. Hey, yeah. Person in the chat. Good topic. Yeah, so I'm curious. You guys are gonna have to tell me, did we do this one?
Legal immigration.
Legal immigration? I mean, we've
I think-
talked
then we
about
definitely
it
did.
to such a great
I
extent.
remember this girl. Throw it back over here. Let me switch from
I was gonna say when it landed, I was like, did someone else
click. Sorry, gang. I had to switch over.
Is that the cracker thing?
It's the wiki hole.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Can we do it? I have a fun one.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah,
thinking,
sure.
Ricky? You're
I'm
on
here. I
mute.
just got to get my notebook.
All right, get your notebook.
Get your notes.
As you prepare, I'm going to tell the folks the whole purpose of the way we play down the wiki hole. The game we like to play here on the show. The game, the way we play, is I pick a significant figure. They could be dead, they could be alive, they could be fictional.
And you can start. I'll be right back as well. Sorry.
Actually, no, they're all real people. That's the kid. It's a real person, could be dead, could be alive. I go to their Wikipedia page and I click 5 words away, right? You know how you do that? You could go to a different Wikipedia page from there. I click 5 pages
going
away.
down the wiki hole.
That's right.
Self-explanatory.
And then I'm 5 pages away and I will work my way back each round, getting closer and closer to the person. So you could probably get a better sense of who the person is. But each round, Doug, Will, and Ricky can either take a guess at who the person is or ask a yes or no question. So they're all working together to try to isolate who this person is. What continues to make this game so fun for us is it just seems to get unhinged real quick. So I'm going to start 5 pages away from our wiki person, and it's up to the folks here to guess who it is. So we're going to start with Will. Round 1, the first Wikipedia page, wiki hole, first Wikipedia page. We're starting with invertebrate.
Well, I always love the first one because the question is, are they alive?
No. I had to remember who it was for a second.
I want to use my guess. Is this person Steve Irwin?
No.
Darn. Okay.
Interesting.
Not alive,
but I will
know.
say you're not. I like where your head's at, Doug. That sense of creativity, at least. All right. So Will asked if they're dead or alive. We determine that they're dead, or asked if they're dead, or whatever he said.
Dead. Okay.
Will was able to show that they're not Steve Irwin.
I have 2 notes. Not alive, not Steve Irwin.
Yeah. Ricky, yes or no question, or take a guess.
Are they an entertainer within like celebrity?
Yes.
Celeb. All right, back to me. Next one.
All right, we're now going to round 2. We're getting 1 page closer to our person here.
All right, I'm just going to cut it in half to help the rest of us. Is the individual a male?
Yes.
Male.
Okay. Is this person Walt Disney?
Not Walt Disney.
Darn,
because
Brain,
the page,
you know?
for those that are listening, the page that we're on is Brain. And of course, Doug is looking at a brain in a vat and he just goes, Walt Disney.
Yeah.
His head's in a freezer.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I not assume that?
Not Walt.
I like it. I'm liking the creativity you got here tonight, Doug. Ricky, yes or no question, or take a guess?
Is a male. Is this person in our age group? So like oldest one of like
millennial?
Yeah.
Can you remind them of your first question you asked?
I asked if they were alive.
Oh, they're dead. They're dead. Sorry, you're right. He did say
I mean,
are they
to
dead or
be
alive?
fair,
Sorry.
So,
them
like,
being
do you want to
dead doesn't
reframe?
Yeah.
the way
I'm gonna
you asked
reframe that
or-
question. Are they American?
No. All right. Now we're going to round 3. We're going to the next wiki page. We're getting closer to our mystery person here. Will,
What is that,
appetite?
Here, I'll go like this. Appetite. I was perfectly over the top there. So, appetite.
It's not Steve Irwin, but I kind of like that. It's not Walt Disney.
I liked Doug's guesses have been all right. Yes.
Appetite.
fun.
So, yes or no question or a guess?
Celebrity dead.
Celebrity dead, not Steve Irwin, not Walt Disney,
It's
not
a
American, and male.
Appetite. Interesting. I was not expecting that. Are they a chef?
Chef Bourdain.
No.
All right.
But I like where your head's at. Thinking. Doug, a yes or no question or a guess?
Male, not alive.
Not American.
Is this person known for acting?
That is not what they're known for. No. Ricky, yes or no question or a guess?
It's a random guess. Is this Kurt Cobain?
No. Good guess.
The brain thing. Oh my God, that's funny.
I won't lie. That's.
But Kurt Cobain
Bro.
Kurt
Oh
Cobain
my
was
God.
American.
Brain and then
Appetite.
I got appetite. All right. Well, I guess we got to go to our next round. We got one more following this, one more set of guesses following this. So, this is the page before our person. Cannabis. Starting with Will.
Does kind of screw up my thought process.
Yes or no question or a guess?
Not Kurt Cobain. I don't know what my thought process was. I'm gonna just say what my thought process was going out there. This one kind of threw me, because I don't know if this individual partook in cannabis. I know this person is not alive, but it actually makes it worse because this person is American. But I was thinking serial killer, maybe like a Jeffrey Dahmer. And I was like, okay, maybe because appetite.
But he's an American.
But he's an American.
Bob
So
Marley.
Bob Marley's an American.
No, he's not. He's Jamaican. Get it right, Will.
Is it Bob Marley?
Even Ricky's over there agreeing with
Is
me,
it
Will.
Bob Marley?
It's Bob Marley.
Woo!
Doug
got
Will's over here going, he's American. Dude, he is not. Come on.
Ricky, tell him.
Hey,
Ricky, tell him.
Doug, I'm gonna pull you.
Bro,
I
Doug.
fucking won. You guys didn't
Yeah,
win.
we won, but Doug,
Doesn't
suck it.
matter. I
Suck
gave it to you.
Suck it.
Doug, bro, Doug, this is how you need to be, bro. Like I
Yes.
fucks with
Yes.
this type of stuff, dog.
Yes.
Yo,
All the
Doug,
time. I was like, all right, I like the way we're moving. We're moving.
When Doug's locked in and not throwing a temper
was.
tantrum,
Once we got
he's
to
good.
cannabis, and he's not American, and he's dead. What? My immediate thought was Snoop Dogg, but he's alive. So Snoop Lions, person of interest.
I'm not
Bob
thinking
Marley.
Alex.
Come
You know,
on, people. That
We
was
should have
easy.
knew this. It's Black History Month. We expect Alex to pick somebody black. I represent for the Black History Month.
Well, I need you to know, I've been sitting on Bob Marley a fat minute. I would have thought Ricky would be sniffing this one out quicker than Doug.
No, I had no clue.
Cannabis?
I wasn't even
for
thinking.
sure.
Literally, as soon as we got to cannabis, I was like, it's got to be Bob
Cannabis
Marley or
was where
Snoop
it
Dogg.
screwed up me
But
because
Snoop
I don't know
Dogg's
why I
alive.
was so embedded in serial killer for a second, and I was like, no,
I
I
was
don't
thinking like,
Okay, I'm not trying to coach you guys on how to beat my game, but like your first couple rounds need to be the generic. Nobody asked if he was black or white. That
I
would
didn't
have
ask that.
all
Didn't
my
I?
questions were
That's usually my question.
I know. Usually wait till we get to Ricky.
We didn't need to. I got it.
Ricky,
without
Doug.
even getting
Doug
it.
is so.
Hey,
I love
live
it.
on this high
Yes.
horse, Doug.
Chicken
You
dinner,
are Capadon.
Doug, we
You are the
didn't need
motherfucking
to.
captain, Doug.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
You know how this goes. Tell the folks where to find you. And then you should probably tell them about your Thursdays on your channel.
Yeah, man. Thursdays, we have the Stoner and the Scholar Show with high takes, legal facts, and real world dilemma. Me and Alex be out there chilling and dropping gems, man. Dropping gems for y'all. And Just Another Day TV, we be streaming everywhere, all platforms. We're outside. We're always outside.
And streaming from your mama's underwear. It's crazy. With everything being considered, we appreciate you joining us. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support what we're doing here is like this episode. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss us. We're here each week. New episodes every Tuesday at now 8 p.m. So we appreciate you guys joining us. The whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. So we appreciate everybody that was jumping in the comments to add their perspective to the dialogue. But as I said, we're in a fight against algorithms, and the best thing you could do to support what we're doing here is share this episode. So again, please help us out. But we've got our live show on Tuesdays, the podcast on Fridays, and then we've got our Sunday live show. Yes, the Sunday football review is over, but the reaction show is still there each week. So wake up, have a cup of coffee with us, and share some laughs every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. But if you're looking for one central place where you can find all the different shows across the different platforms, it's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So we appreciate you joining us. But otherwise, folks, we'll catch you next week.